And we are live. There we go. Finally, there. We're live here. We're live here. Welcome, everybody, to Gross Domesticated Podcast live on this Wednesday. It's what day?
Wednesday.
Hump Day. That's right.
Oh,
You're
Hump
absolutely
Day.
right. You got it right. We are here zooming along. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit subscribe and like. If you're watching the video, get notifications for any time that we go live, and also you'll see anytime I drop a new episode of Proper Ebonics, which should be coming out a little bit later on this week. Also, I have a playlist on here that a show I do with my buddy Andy called What About with Andy and Pat, where we talk about albums that influenced us throughout our lives. And that's another wonderful show you can check out. Also, Falls Count Anywhere, other episodes of GDP, Hacks, all that other thing. Wonderful wife. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
I'm here. I don't know yet. Actually, honestly, I don't know yet. But today I'm doing a lot better than I would be if we weren't joined by our wonderful guest, Ashley Pontius. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, Daddy. How are you?
Welcome.
Thanks so much, daughter. It's great. It's great to have you. Is that weird if I call you daughter or call you?
It makes me giggle. My co-host on my podcast, Quality Time, Eric, has pulled me aside and says, "Hey, I have kids. It makes me super uncomfortable that you call me Daddy."
Yeah.
So now, episode, I call him something different. Last week it was Colonel. This upcoming episode, I called him Pater. So,
Okay.
I just kind of keep coming up with new ones.
It's all about compromise. At this point, it's just all about compromise. But as always, we appreciate your time.
Yes.
And the
thank
fact that
you.
you're willing to be here, because we were just actually talking about a very the issue indeed in which I wanted to start talking about with you, because we know you're a cat lover, not just in the empowering sense. You love pussy. We all love pussy. Wet, dry, doesn't matter. It can be any kind of pussy. But we are right now shopping for pussy. And we are having the hardest time because apparently it's harder to adopt cats than it is children in this country.
I don't know if that's an accurate.
No.
thing.
I did the research. Yeah, I looked up the numbers, and it's pretty even.
I actually believe that because I had a friend recently in the last year, not a cat, but adopting a dog.
Oh, I'm sure that's even harder.
Exactly. Well-employed, good people have, good references, background checks, anything you could imagine. And they applied for a dog and they were denied, oh, we think you might be too busy to care for this dog. And I'm like, you do realize that there are busy people that will abandon their children with strangers for at least 8 hours a day.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. How dare you? First of all, how dare you? And also the thing that we were looking at, when we started looking at options, because we, unfortunately, as you clearly know, you sent us a wonderful card to. I was going to say to commemorate it, but to console us.
Yes.
To console
Yes.
us when our kitty cat passed away, Dobby. And of course, he's still here with us in here, and literally his bones are right over there.
Oh,
And,
I was not sure what you meant, and I started to panic, and I was like, oh my God, they've been keeping this dead cat in there. I was like, I've been in their studio. How did I not smell it?
Yeah, we sealed them up real nice.
Yeah, much like the Alfredo sauce, it's hard to find. But there's a we're trying to fill that void, obviously, because we want a cuddly kitty cat. We got our
Well, it feels off balance.
Yeah.
There's just we need somebody with Chloe.
Yeah.
It's gotta happen.
We need a cat to comfort her as well as us. And and so I was like, all right, well, we'll adopt a cat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in my
It's a cat. You
in
would
my
think that's
mind,
easy.
what's the difference in your eyes between adopting and buying a cat?
The difference between buying a human and buying a cat? Or...
No. Buying, if you go to I feel like if you just go to a pet store, you could just buy a dog or a cat, right?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, you would be correct. One of my issues personally with a lot of pet shops, at least in our area, since you guys, even though we're not in the same county, we are in the same state.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We tend, and I can't say this for sure about cats. Again, even though I am a cat owner, I used to work with dogs. So some of that I have more, we'll say, business sense as far
Okay,
as that goes.
gotcha.
Um,
Oh, good.
but unfortunately, and this could be true of both cats and dogs, but I know for sure with dogs, we live in an area where a lot of them come from what they call puppy mills.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
A lot of times are these farms in what I believe is the Lancaster area.
Yep.
And because to certain people who raise them, it is kind of their belief that it is not a pet, even though they'll sell them to people as pets. They do not treat them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live under the guise that animals are meant to be dominated by man.
Right. Absolutely true. Yes.
So they,
Right.
so they tend to be overbred
Mhm.
or undercared for.
Of course.
And it's
I love
very
bread.
unfortunate. But again, it's purely profit. And in that sense, they're not gonna care. Like when they sell them to the pet shops or send them to the pet shops, they're not going to care what you do with it. You
Yeah.
could eat it. They'd
Yeah.
be like, good choice.
Yeah. And honestly,
with
As long as you
adopting-
give me money, it's fine.
yeah. Watch out for the chip.
Exactly.
There's
And I
not an
think with
edible
adoption,
chip.
yeah, I think with adoption, people tend to maybe be more selective, maybe to a fault, that they feel like with this animal has maybe seen dark days, has been mistreated, and the fear maybe that it would happen again to an animal or that it would be given up and resurrendered
Yeah.
to,
Right.
to a shelter, which is understandable. Still ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
But
They
it
want to know.
makes-
They want a copy of our lease.
Like it, but
Right.
it makes
Yes.
for whatever reason it makes more sense with dogs, and I think it's because dogs can do more damage than cats in the sense of like you wouldn't want a dog to go to multiple homes. You don't know what's happening in those multiple homes, and then somebody has it. A dog could, a cat can fuck you up. For
Not
sure.
me.
Right.
Not me.
Okay.
Not me
A cat
personally.
can fuck me up.
Cat's never gonna get a step on me, bud.
But like, so you need to, and there maybe, I don't know. I just, it makes a little bit more sense. But with cats, they breed so quickly, and they can
Yeah.
you can have an infestation of cats. So you would
yeah.
think that it wouldn't be so strict. I mean, definitely you should, do an application,
Right. Yeah,
so you
yeah,
can
yeah.
hey, are you a good person? Like whatever. But
Yeah.
the it's just crazy.
If you want to do a background check or something like that, I mean, I guess fine.
Right.
But like for the most part, like I told her, I was like, I said I'm gonna go there, and she's like, we need to make sure that your current cat has all its shots and all this other
They're
stuff,
up to date.
and they're up to date. And it's like, bitch, I'm gonna lie to you now. That's all you're doing to me.
Yeah.
We own our home. We have our own home that we.
But you have to show your mortgage
Nope.
if you say you own a home. And
Like,
that again.
What the fuck are you talking about? What are you charging me for?
And then that was his thing, is it's $110, and he was like, but we're adopting it.
We're
Why
adopting it.
does it cost that much money?
There's
They shots, microchip,
Right.
Getting it fixed
neuter.
if it
Yeah,
happens.
But then
all
now we're
that.
bringing all this fucking. We're gonna have to find a fucking notary or some shit. We're gonna have to get paperwork filed for fuck's sake for
Yeah.
me.
Is
Just saying, hey, you know where I've gotten all my cats up to this point, Ashley?
Yeah.
Front porches or back porches. Okay.
Same.
Somebody
Right,
says,
right.
hey, there's a cat here. Does anybody want it? And I go, yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah. I have never in my life. My family. I have two older sisters,
Ooh.
and growing up, we each had our own cat.
John said we could
And-
borrow his mortgage. By the way, sorry, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Thank
John
you.
John Montag is in the Instagram chat right now, and he says we can borrow his mortgage. So that's one step already.
That's-
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you,
That's
buddy.
hilarious.
That's a down.
But no,
deal.
I mean, I can't think of. I will say I've owned lots of cats in the sense of family cats, or each had our own. I only had one other cat that was specifically mine before I have two I have now. I did get from a farm as a child. I don't remember if my parents paid for her or not. I believe she was just free. But the two I have now, the one was found in a dumpster in West Virginia, and I took him. And then the other one was a stray mother, had kittens, so I took one of the kittens.
Yep.
So yeah, I've never paid for a cat in my life. Pussy should be free.
Pussy should be free. Absolutely. No, I think it's very clear that
That's the name of the episode.
Right.
but there's definitely like a level to like I do pickups for my buddies. He has a pet cremation
Oh.
business, and I
Yeah.
do pickups for him and stuff like that every once in a while. And there's one vet office that he works for that or that he does pickups from or whatever that I go to, and they say, and the lady found out they have an office cat. A lot of these vet offices have an office cat, not an office
I've heard
dog,
that.
Yeah,
an
dogs
office
a lot.
cat. I'm just saying.
I've heard that.
But so they have them there, and every time I see a cat, this is the mathematical fact. Every time I see a cat, I stop and try to get that cat's attention.
Yes.
And I don't need to pet it. I don't need to hold it. I just want to talk to it. I just want to talk to that cat.
I need to touch it.
I just need to. Oh, really? You need to
I need to boop. I need to boop. I either need to touch a snoot or I need to scratch right behind the ears.
I'll take a slow blink. You know what a slow blink means? That means they're comfortable with you. You know, like slow blink, or they show you their belly, something like that.
Language.
I know the language.
Love purring.
Oh my god! You said you have 2 cats, by the way. Just a side note, real quick. You have 2 cats? Would you mind getting those 2 to fuck for us?
To fuck?
Not to watch. Like.
Boys.
To have a kitten.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're boys and they're fixed. And
That won't work.
Give it a shot. Try it. You're so close-minded.
I was
they're
so
2 boys and they shouldn't fuck. Is that what you're saying, Ashley?
Oh no.
I was taken aback. I was like, "What kind of podcast?"
Me too. That went like.
Oh yeah.
I saw your eyes. This is also the first time that I was also offended. That I'm like, "Wow, you don't want to see me fuck, but you want to see my cat."
The 2 cats. Yeah, just the 2 cats.
Wild.
I need somebody to hold the camera. I don't know if you have a tripod.
You don't know if Ashley has a tripod.
My ex was a tripod.
There's a I think so. I do pickups for my buddy's thing, and I go in there, and every time I want to talk to that cat. I want to pet it. I want to hold it, whatever I can. And she goes, "Oh, you like cats?" And I was like, "Yeah, we got 2 at home." And she goes, as soon as she found out I love cats, she was like, "You need to adopt. We need you to. Can you adopt? Do you want to adopt these cats? We got some cats that you can adopt. All the stuff, right?" And I was like, "Oh, not right now. You know, it was kind of hard finding a place with 2 cats. You know,
yeah, we can't.
But
3.
now we're down a cat, right? I'm very interested to find out if because she was desperate to get rid of these cats. She wanted to unload these cats. She was like almost clutched my arm. This was pre-COVID, and said to say like, "You need to get a fucking cat right now."
Yeah.
So I would
can
like
you
to
go
know.
back to her?
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. So because of all this bullshit of where they're like,
Yeah.
"You need to give us your firstborn. We need to do a DNA test to make sure
But that was
you're a
something,
naturalized citizen or something." You know?
I think it was back when we were in Florida, we had friends that were denied adopting a cat. I was like, "What?" Like you said, like they're too busy. So if somebody for a dog, because a dog for the most part you have to go walk.
For real?
So it makes sense if you're not home.
John says cupboard maker. I think cup. Is that how you spell cupboard? Is that really how you spell cupboard?
I don't know.
Cupboard.
Cupboard?
Cupboard? I mean, that makes sense because it's a cup.
It's a cup. Yeah, I would think that is a cup.
I don't know if I ever realized that's how you.
I'm not even. Hi, what are we?
No, trust me, I am. Cupboard maker books on the West Shore where we live is. They said. He said what John says is like I think they just donated a book, but also his cat's an asshole. So I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want to get my cat there.
We could go check it out.
Yeah,
I've got lots of books.
Scenario.
Yeah, his.
Well, look, worst case scenario. I'm telling you guys, I got some spare ones that seem to be hanging around my new apartment, so I'm sure I could snag one for you.
I mean, if they're already microchipped, can you get it out? I don't want that.
No, I'm telling you, I think we've got an infestation here and right next to my house.
What color?
We have a very nice, well cared for but abandoned house. Like someone's continuing to upkeep it, but no one's
in
there.
So it's probably haunted.
with all the spirits of the dead kitties. But I think a cat has
it's the nice
set
cat.
up shop under one of the sheds, and it looks like there's a colony of some very cute kitties. Because when I played with this neighborhood stray I was telling you about, I was like, meow, and then I just hear a chorus in the dark of meow. Like, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. If you catch them, or you see them, send us pictures.
Well, I don't want to separate them from if they only had themselves to survive.
He would.
all of them.
Oh yeah, I want. No,
I know there's
That's
at least two.
actually, can we just move into the house?
Yeah, there
If
you go.
there's already
And then we'll
cats
just
there.
take care of the cats.
We can be neighbors, and I
Yeah.
can totally cross your
My-
boundaries.
my-
Show up.
My lease comes with cats, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's built in the lease.
Truly, well, here's what's super
They're in the
funny.
foundation.
So I live in a multi-family unit, kind of, sort of, almost like you guys, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a traditional, what you call an apartment building.
Right.
But so the neighbors next door are out of their fucking minds, and they were telling me the other day that the cat that I've been making friends with, they're like, oh, he showed up one day and we cared for him, and they even got him fixed. I'm like, wow, that's really good of you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing that. And then as I'm trying to leave the conversation, one of them goes, oh yeah, we have like 6 cats buried in the backyard. I'm like, you're renting this place, right?
That's not what you're not supposed to bury them.
Yeah, you're not.
No,
Tell my mom that.
no, it's illegal to do that 'cause if it gets into the water supply, and especially if you have 6 back there.
6.
They must be living here for a long time, but I'm just like, wait a minute,
6
you don't even
cats.
own this house. You don't
Yeah.
own this house. You are renting this apartment. And you're like, yeah, we've been burying our dead cats out back. Like,
Wow.
what is happening?
Holy shit.
I was like, great, I'm gonna go so I don't have to be a part of this conversation.
Yeah, I can't have this knowledge.
The next time you shower, it smells like catnip.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What is that?
I feel bad. I wish my apartment was bigger because I can tell my cats when they get the zoomies, they're like, we only have so many places to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, with us, we don't have like a lot of space. All of our space is
It's all up and
vertical.
down, yeah.
So
That's right,
when we
yeah.
first moved in here, and I was like, hey, at least the stairs are carpeted because that they're gonna lose their minds on it. And
They
Oh,
did.
yes.
yeah. Chloe still does. Last night she lost her mind. She was like up and down, zooming around, or like her back legs can't catch up. And she's like, "Grr, grr, 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 grr," and then down. I'm like, okay.
Like she's still got so much. Like she's not there. I mean, she's probably what, like 8 or 9
We
years
were
old?
looking
Oh,
through
yeah.
our cat papers, and one of them was like, "Oh, her birthday is May 5th," and we were like, "Oh, sweet! We actually have a birthday." Because again, somebody it was a litter
Yeah.
of kittens
Yeah.
that
Found it.
it was somebody that he worked with, and was like, "Do you want one?"
Yeah.
So we didn't really have a birthday. And then
Yeah.
we found another one of her vet papers, and then it said like February
It
something,
was like a year later.
2012.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know.
And we're like, oh, that's us guessing her birthday.
That's exactly right.
Oh, it was so funny. I was like, okay, we still don't know.
It's a fucking pet. Like it's an animal. I'm definitely somewhere between the man shall hold dominion over beast and like and we need to like give you fingerprints and fucking and a DNA test and you have to have yearly checkups or something.
But the other thing
Yeah.
I will say is like then you have like the puppy mills and stuff
Yeah.
where people will get a loan to purchase a dog. Like they essentially take out a mortgage. I remember my parents, we went to one, it was called All About Puppies in Florida, and you walk in and it has like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, like all of these different rates for all these banks. And I'm like, wait, what are we doing? Are we buying a house? Or are we like getting a dog? But it's like
That's
$7,000 for a purebred, like whatever. And my mom was breeding, so she wanted
Oh,
legit, whatever dogs.
right.
But I was just
Yeah,
like,
pure-
this is
pure
insane.
murder.
This isn't a sound investment.
No, I wouldn't even spend $1,000 on a child. I'm just gonna let them open pump and dump one day, and I'll just be like, cool.
That's so funny that's a true fact.
Yeah, yeah.
because of conversations that we have had.
Yeah.
And you're like I like to know that that's your price. You're like, well, 1,001, I'm out.
I'm out.
No.
And for that
No.
reason, I'm out.
In vitro is so expensive, and I'm like, and you're telling me it's not even fun?
No.
Yeah.
No, like forget the condoms. We'll make a huge mistake one night. Go to the dollar store, get
Perfect.
one of their pregnancy tests
Yep.
with the dropper.
Right.
And you just go, oh look, like a wonderful mistake has been made. Now I'm on the hook for 18 plus years.
Exactly.
Woot woot.
And that is the meaning of life. And if somebody could do that with a cat for us, that would be great. Like
I will.
We can get
I
a
will
surrogate.
I will try. I will try and
Sarah
get the
cat.
cats drunk
Surrogate.
and see if I can get them to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I'll be like, hey, look, Fluffy, you're looking a little fat. Let's go get a test. I'll get her to urinate in the corner because she can't figure out the litter box.
Oh
Yep.
boy.
And I'll be like, oh, look, like she's ready to be a mom.
It seems like
Teen mom.
it seems like these cats may have bad genes. I think I'm out again. If they can't figure out the litter box.
Can we talk about like with dogs? I remember, and again, sorry, it's because I know just more and I see it more.
Right.
But like, I remember one time, and this is just personal opinion.
Yeah.
I remember one time somebody brings in a dog, and I go, "Oh, it's if I'm saying the name right, I believe they're called Weimaraners."
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't say it.
Yeah, they're like that silvery, whatever. And
Beautiful
that's what
dogs.
it is. And she goes, "No, I'm sorry, this is not a Weimaraner. This is a silver lab." Which, if I understood correctly, if I remember, it was like a lab crossed with a Weimaraner, or it was like some sort of mutation to that. It was gray. And I was like, okay, you think it's pretty, but here's the problem. Just from the little I know that we have with that, it's aesthetically pleasing to you, but actually, if that's a genetic mutation, you've got a very fucked up dog who might maul you, has temperamental problems, and probably horrific health problems.
My brother's dog was definitely inbred and had a broken dick.
It had a broken everything.
Its urethra was like inside out or some shit. I don't know what the fuck it was.
And then
he de-sleeved it, wasn't it? Like he de-sleeved it, or
I don't know.
I can't remember. His pecker was broke, bruh.
His pecker was broke.
His pecker was broke.
Started this episode, and I'm like, nah, you know what? I feel super sanitary dry, like a cat's tongue. Like,
oh my god, I lost my headphones.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, he's so excited. I'm like, calm down. But yeah, it's so bizarre to me. I'm like, yeah, you think these things are beautiful, but they're not great. And unfortunately, the truth is, again, if I'm not mistaken, certain types of like white, like an all white dog of certain breeds, yeah, you're like, oh, that's a pretty dog, but really, it's almost like not albinoism or anything, but it's like
just a gene, right.
And sometimes you can find a more temperamental dog,
right.
Because of the fact that it's an entire mutation of much worse things than people realize.
Right.
So then it's like they bring their dog in for training and they're like, I don't know why he won't stop biting me and attacking my children. I'm like, yeah, because your dog is like the fucking Hannibal Lecter of the family.
Yep. Yeah, because all like animals are based off of instinct. So if they have all that different kind of DNA going on in their bodies, they're like, what is happening? I don't know what's happening. But then, you know, you have people that are like, because that's the same thing with hairless cats too, right? Yeah. That's a mutation that they just continued to breed.
Yeah.
And then now we have a hairless cat where they're like, oh, there's, no dander. They're like, this is for somebody that's allergic to cats, but still can have a cat.
We just saw the it was the tomb. Oh fuck, what was it? The tomb of. Or Secrets of Sakara Tomb, I think it was.
Yeah.
Secrets of Sakara. It was some. It's on Netflix. It was
really good.
It's a Netflix original documentary about people excavating. God damn it! I had the problem with that word earlier.
Like a pyramid. Wasn't it like a pyramid?
Just
so Egyptian.
It starts out as just sand. It's just ground that they just dig until they find things, and then they do. They find a ton of stuff. They found a fucking mummified baby lion in one of the tombs.
Oh wow!
They have piles and piles of mummified cats because again
they worship. I think it was like an animal tomb. It was like a place that you went to not sacrifice, but like give offerings.
Right.
So it was the first ever recorded mummified lion, because I don't think they're not indigenous to that area. I think somebody brought that as like an offering.
Yeah.
And it was like I think she said like a cult animal thing.
But
really, really, really cool.
But I'm wondering because like the whole time, like forever and ever, they've always been like Egyptians would worshipped cats.
Mm-hmm.
And they say because there's cat they're always in their paintings. They're always here, and they're always like, "Oh, we feed them, we do all this stuff." I honestly feel like, and from your story in particular, starting out this podcast, I think there was just a cat infestation in Egypt, and they were just like, "These motherfuckers are everywhere. You gotta feed them, you gotta pet them, They just sit in as soon as I got up, they just sat in my chair. Because there's a lot of times it's the cat. Because this is the thing, is one of the biggest things is like they worship cats. Because look, this is the cat sitting on the throne. No.
Oh, yeah.
we go through that with Chloe all the time. Sorry, she's sitting over there. She's laying over there. We do that all the time with Chloe. That's called move your seat, move your feet, lose your seat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every time we get up, she
accurate.
sits in the chair we're sitting in.
Oh, yeah. Before I sat down to do this podcast, my cat threw up on this chair, and it is a mesh chair, and trying to get the cat puke out of this is a nightmare. So my legs are like open, like I'm ready for something, because I don't want to sit where the stain is still lingering, and I'm trying to deal with it after the podcast.
The stain is still lingering should absolutely be your autobiography name.
The stain is still lingering is my book of poetry.
The stain is still lingering.
Here you sit on my seat. Whenever you get down, you puke on my feet.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. Perfect.
Yep.
There's the first one.
To pet you. Aren't you neat?
Now you're going to Dr. Seuss. You're going more Seussy now.
He's a cat,
It's
so
still
it's
poetry.
Dr. Seuss?
What?
I don't
What?
know. Is he a cat?
No, the
Wrote
cat.
cat.
The cat was a cat. The cat, with its hat.
Weren't they all essentially cats?
No, Dr. Seuss was a human being that wrote about a cat that was wearing a hat.
Yeah, it's a very famous book about a cat and hat, but not all of his not all of his books are about cats. One of my favorite Dr. Seuss books from when I was a child, which kind of show you the growth of my humor over the years, was there is a book called What Was I Scared Of? And it is about a character, a creature, who is afraid of a haunted pair of green pants. And in the end, he makes friends with them. And I just remember as a kid being like, it's a butt. There's a butt in the pants. I really grew up to be sophisticated and, really thoughtful comedian.
Hell yeah.
So.
Yeah. John says pattery is my new favorite art. That's awesome. I don't know what that means.
Pattery?
I don't know.
I think that just means my Egyptian interpretation.
Oh, I thought he meant like pottery that only has Pat's face on it.
Ooh, I like that. I'm a fan of that one. John, clarify. Please clarify in the comments. Because we need to know. I think there's I don't know if I could ever. I just started actually. I just thought about what I was gonna say, and I'm like, this sounds so stupid. I just started reading.
Okay, yeah.
Trying to. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like there is a lot of my childhood, a lot of people were just asleep at the wheel, and that's fine. Yeah. Hey, no hard feelings. I'm an adult now. Let's try to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? Like that. A lot of people said, "Hey, your kid doesn't come with an owner's manual." Okay. Yeah, that still doesn't. You don't get one when you get older either. Like that's what I don't understand with self-help books and shit. But I'm trying to read.
Self-help books.
So I'm trying to read in things I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I learned that while I read, I also need to have a scrap piece of paper and a pen, so I can take notes, so I can look up things that I don't understand.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's really good.
I've been teaching myself, but
that's good.
High five. I'm proud
of
you.
Right?
I've been waiting. Okay, I feel underwhelmed because I was waiting to make fun of you, and I was waiting for Pat to be like, I need a notepad because I don't know any of these words.
Well, do you want to know what I needed to look up? The last thing
now maybe I'll make fun of you. Yeah,
now.
You're about to.
Yeah,
Sorry, hold on. He needs. Oh wait. Oh, hold on a second. Horrible play on poetry. Oh, patetry. It's like poetry.
Poetry.
John, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I was also we should also call Pat's fan Patophiles.
Ooh,
Patos.
Look at all the Patophiles in your neighborhood.
Hey, Patos. Yeah, we do it. We look you up on Cody's here. What's up, Cody?
Hey, Cody.
Cody, he reads a lot of self-help books too. So I'm not mocking self-help. I'm just saying that I feel like it's kind of the thing where they say like, oh, kids don't come with a user manual, but
they do.
But
there
do.
are parenting books.
Right.
I mean, it's all objective, but hey, it's somebody's perspective. You might learn something.
John, don't
totally. I was just assuming that
do
your
we need to get you
books were
parenting
like
books?
How do I get out of this, man?
And it says too late.
Exit. Yeah. Please locate the exits. But
How
okay.
to know if you're married to a pedophile?
So on this thing, I only had to look up 4 things,
Okay.
or I had four different thoughts.
Okay.
I read
What did you read? What were you reading?
It was a newscientist.com. I was reading about there's a new type of squid that was discovered that had a shell attached to it, the shape of a paperclip.
That's interesting.
Very, very interesting. I think if you check it out, I think it's like from like November 4th. It's a thing because I follow cephalopod, the hashtag on Instagram. So that story popped up, and I was like, oh, I'd like to learn more about, because that's something I'm interested. So I know I'm not going to get bored during reading, right?
I gotta tell you, that part I found more interesting when you're just like randomly. You're like, yeah, follow cephalopod.
Yeah, he loves
Oh, yeah.
octopus,
Yeah.
octopi, squids,
Which
all of it.
makes sense, but I just love it. Just kind of glazes over it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just never mind." Just
Whales. He loves whales.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong, actually. John said they legit hand you an owner's manual before you leave the hospital. So you're right. They do have them now. You're right.
Now, but I don't know if they did when we were kids. We grew up, and they're like, we need to give them manuals.
Yeah, my question is though, what year was that revised? What is the last date on those owner's manuals?
Oh.
It's like the 1950s, and they're like, just remember, when you smoke, share it with the baby.
Blow it into their face.
Cody says that there's a video where they show a baby being shaken in slow motion.
Oh,
exactly.
What?
What
To
I
like
need to
keep you
see.
from doing it.
To show you.
Wow, holy shit! They really do that shit. Oh my god!
I don't want to.
Yeah, because like if you're sleep deprived.
Okay, so they don't do that with kids though. They don't do that with cats, right? Do they do that shit too? Where they're like, don't fucking feed your cat chocolate.
You can shake a cat; they'll be fine. Their brains are so tiny.
Yeah, you can shake them around their little head. That's fine. They're not going to be.
I was going to say, don't at me. Like, don't shake your cat.
No, you can at her. It's at Ashley Pontius.
You're going to get all those videos. Don't fuck with cats. It's going to be like, you're going to get like all of those types of videos.
You're going to go to jail, motherfucker. So, okay. So the things that I had to look up during the reading that I was doing was I had to look up how long was 1.5 meters, because they explained how big it was. They said it's like it's almost 1.5 meters, and I was like, well, what does that fucking mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know what that is either. So that's pretty good.
It's I found this out. It's 4.92126 feet. It's 4 feet 11 inches. So almost
feet.
The size of my last boyfriend's dick. Got
it. Exactly. Tripod. Hold on. Oh yeah, I also had to look up what contemporary meant.
Wow.
That one makes me giggle a little bit.
That one though, but like in what context?
They said it was the contemporary to the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that.
That is fair. It is a very versatile word.
Yeah.
Nope. It only means one thing. It means you're living. It's like the same thing. It's you peer. You're a peer.
Wait, what? So when somebody says contemporary dance,
what? I think that's
contemporary dance or contemporary music.
Yeah, because they see people dancing and they're like, same thing. I do that.
But that's not that.
I also dance.
That's really weird. A peer?
Hold on. Wait, all right. Living with at the same time.
Living with.
So then right. So what that's saying is.
Did my research.
At the same time, that would mean that if you say contemporary music, what you're saying is it is very modern and of the moment.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, so just modern.
Right. Modern dance. Yeah, they found their own.
But they
word
call
for
it modern dance too. I don't know. Whatever.
You know, they call it dancing,
it's
and
the
I
English
don't call
language.
it dancing.
You know, it's like the hardest language.
I dropped out of college. I was an English major, and I was like,
all dancing is. Wait, what is it? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was an English major in college, and I dropped out, and I was like, I will blow my brains out. This is a nightmare. Like I hated it so much. I like to read, but I don't have good grammar.
I like to read now too, apparently.
I'm really proud of you, though.
I learned.
Look at you learning.
I learned.
He's learning.
Oh, okay. So I learned that on their shells, right? They were the reason they found out how old they were. They lived up to 200 years,
Oh, wow.
And they found out because they could because of the samples they took off their shell that they found. So they found the shell, and they were able to find test the oxygen levels and all that such whatever,
Okay.
and found out that there would be like layers added each year from the volcanic. You know what I'm talking about? Like the vent that would come out. There was like a spring around there, or
Right?
whatever. And it would kind of like add
It like
rings onto them.
calcifies it almost.
Yeah, calcifies it. Yeah.
Right. So, like, kind of like when the tectonic plates shift and they release gas.
Yeah. It would only add to it. So, like, they were able
So
to
there's
kind
probably
of count the rings.
proteins and different stuff in it that create that calcification.
Right.
That's fascinating.
And this
That
is
is
where I
fascinating.
learned the word increment is basically just the opposite of excrement, which is poop.
That's funny.
I know excrement as a poop word, but increment means poop going in.
So they have poop coming in.
No. No. They have shell coming in.
No, like
Oh,
increase.
Poop going out.
Increase
Right.
versus expel,
Okay.
like increase. Oh my!
I didn't have to look it
That's
up.
a
I just
horrible-
knew that one.
I love Dominique. I'm gonna say that my favorite part. She's like, "What poop goes in? Why would poop go in?"
Yeah, well, what? It recycles it. What is that?
All right.
Oh my god, who would ingest poo?
And I found out.
I'm sure there's people.
Now, I think this is close to. How familiar are you with Pokemon?
Not a ton. I mean, I know that was my age group growing
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
But like, I'm a girl. I didn't play.
There's a word I had to look up.
I did. I just collected the cards. I didn't really play.
It's a ammonite. I didn't know
What
what
is
that
that?
meant. So it basically also it had a very slow metabolism because it lived in Antarctica, and
Oh,
their
yeah,
food was
it
very
has to be slow,
scarce. So
yeah.
it just evolved to live longer because food wasn't available. Isn't that crazy?
That actually makes a lot of sense. I find that very fascinating.
But they
They're super intelligent.
an ammonite is any subclass of Amanita, which is not apparently the mushroom. I thought Amanita muscaria, but extinct cephalopods, especially abundant in the Mesozoic age, and the flat spirals of interior dividing the septa. I also had to look that up. Septa is like your septum. Is plural of septum. It's like a
like deviated septum.
yeah, corridors almost. So basically into chambers. So they're shelled cephalopods from the Mesozoic era.
That would be very funny. That should be another Harry Potter book. Harry Potter in the Chamber
Big
of Septum.
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the chambered system.
It's the only way to defeat Voldemort because he doesn't have a nose.
Ooh, yeah.
No, John's right, actually. Septa is actually a train. You're right. I'm sorry about that. That's my bad.
A train?
Yeah, Septa. Yeah. Isn't it? I think it's in Jersey.
Oh.
What, you guys don't like Jersey
That
local humor?
joke.
Hey, John, how'd you get back in here? Get the fuck out of here.
And I'm just like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
He's doing, and
You just had that beautiful explanation, and then it's a train.
I'll read about Septa next time. I don't know, but that's it's so I had to find something that I was interested in because otherwise I wouldn't have given a fuck about any of that stuff. But now, also, that is also the only thing that I want to talk about.
Yeah, because you read.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what you're reading.
Because I read that, and it reminds me of I think it's Friends, right? Isn't it the episode where Penn and Teller are on, or Penn Jillette is on? He's a encyclopedia salesman, and he goes to Joey's apartment to sell. This is more facts right here. And he goes to Joey and Chandler's apartment, and he doesn't have enough money to buy the whole set, so he just buys E or something like that, or buys V or something like that for and he wants to talk about volcanoes, and he wants to talk about
I don't
Mount
remember the episode, but
Vesuvius
that
or
way.
whatever.
I remember vaguely that episode, and I was like, that kind of reminds me of me.
Yeah. I'm Joey. I thought it was a Chandler. I'm a Joey. I'm a total
I
Joey.
think a lot of us are Joeys, and we don't want to admit it.
Nobody wants to admit America is Joey, and they don't want to admit it. That's exactly right.
So painful. And if you're not Joey, you're definitely Phoebe.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
I would
God.
say I'm more Phoebe.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
What would you say? Rachel?
She cooks a lot like it,
Oh,
but I.
well,
Yeah, I'd be more Monica with my cooking.
yeah.
Wait, what did you
Monica.
say?
I said Rachel.
Rachel.
I forgot who Rachel was. I forgot which one was Rachel.
What?
I pictured
I-
Monica. Sorry.
Yeah, Monica. Monica's probably the brainiest out of all the girls, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think she's the most. Well, I think I identify and like her the most, but I think she's also the most controlling and anxiety ridden. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So actually, I'm Monica for sure.
Oh, okay. There you go. I'm definitely Phoebe because I sit alone in my house. And I'm like, smelly cat.
Smelly cat.
Yeah, we do love cats, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think I think that's going to be a downfall to this, but it's also what I've been doing not only through setting goals and trying to maintain them through having the weekly live podcast and stuff like that, but also being consistent and being entertaining and bringing something I wish was out there in the world. I wish people were telling me about paper.
I'd rather talk
Squids.
about octopus than pusses. How do you say it?
Octopi is actually not the correct plural of octopus. It is octopus or octopuses.
Okay, so I'd rather talk about that than all the other shit that's going on. So please,
no, agreed.
Keep reading about octopuses.
Or if you see like a big thing, you can call them octocunt. If there's a big one, you go, that's a big old octocunt.
That used to be my nickname.
A giant squid does kind of
really
look like the hood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that could be like the hood, right?
I thought you had that tattoo, but I couldn't remember, and I didn't want to see one and be like, "You've got this tattoo of this thing," and they're like, "No, that's not right."
It's one of my favorite things because one of my biggest interests is, aside from cephalopods and stuff like that, like nature, aside from like animals and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of the right word. Is cryptids. Like,
yes. Cryptids are great.
Right. Not just regular animals, but like
No.
breeds of animals that are like Bigfoot, Loch Ness, Jersey
Mothman.
Devil we talked about. Mothman. Oh my God.
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers. Holy shit. You know about skinwalkers?
Yeah, I do. Skinwalker Ranch, baby.
Isn't that fucking crazy,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've seen the actual night. Have you seen the night crawlers? They're skinwalkers or whatever. Like they're kind of they are compared to them.
I don't know if I know specifically night crawlers. I may have heard of it before, but I didn't put them together.
It's almost like, I think it's almost in the same vein as like Yetis and Bigfoot being in the same class. So skinwalker. So they're both like of Native American heritage or tradition or story, lore, whatever it may be. And I think I believe they're of the same ilk of they just kind of are out in the wilderness and like it happens a lot of times in like what is it? Secluded areas on the highways a lot of times and stuff. That's where you hear a lot of night walker. A lot of the stuff that I would used to watch or read and investigate on. What was it called? Mysterious Universe was the website I would always go to, and I would always read about skinwalkers and stuff. But night crawlers are almost like these two-legged things that like. I'll send you a video. It's like fucking. There's like footage caught somewhere, and I'm like, I had never heard of it before. But at the same time, there was like, they're kind of like this. Like if they take the shape of different things, but in their regular form, they look fucking crazy as fuck.
Ooh.
And they like almost like look like two like poles like stuck together, and they like just walk all like
there's no body.
Yeah, there's no
like,
body.
Oh, I don't like. Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
creepy.
weird. It's just
it's very clear footage. So I'm like, I don't know what they're faking, but
right.
Yeah, I creepy crawler oven. Yeah, John and I were talking about the Jersey Devil and and how the Jersey Devils, like the fact that they are the only cryptid to pluralize, but not be established as a breed of cryptid.
It is interesting,
right? It would be like the Mothman if somebody called it the Mothman. There's only really, I think, as far as I know, one Mothman.
That's what I'm aware of.
Not to gender, but. As opposed to big feet that are amongst, all over the world.
Yeah, but a man. He got that big old velvety dick like a moth.
Put it right up Richard Gere's butthole. Found that joke. Allegedly.
Sorry, Dominic.
I don't remember after that.
We're talking about his Mothman's big dick.
Are there? They have families of Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying but the Jersey Devil is the 13th child. It's one person. It's one thing. So it
is weird.
One cursed child. They're like, well, now we're the devils. Like, no, why don't you be the Big Feet, the New Jersey Big Feet?
That's not fun.
The New Jersey Big
That is fun. What are you talking about?
New Jersey Devil is way better.
That's okay.
Way better.
The New Jersey Devil. That would be cool as fuck. And they're the team.
Yeah, but it's a team.
Yeah.
They're all
I-
devils.
Well, they're not. You're
I'm
not the
just-
lightnings. This is.
Lightning. I'm just glad because here's the thing. I have to say, like when it comes to like the Yeti debate,
Yeah.
I love the term Yeti
Mhm.
so much
Yeah.
more than the abominable snowman.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest name in my personal opinion.
Hold on a second.
Yeti sounds so much cooler, so much more badass and mysterious than, oh, look, it's the abominable snowman. Like, what? Like, that is the
I
dumbest
agree.
name.
Sorry, I
Who
just
came up with that?
I just
Hate
made
it.
up a I just made up a note just to look up what the word abominable means.
Abominable.
Abominable?
Abominable?
I don't even know how to say.
I don't know how to say
It's
it.
like inevitable. Ooh,
Abominable.
Ooh, good job.
I just said it.
Inevitable.
well, look at that.
Inevitable.
I'm getting better with
Inevitable?
words.
It is
Inevitable.
inevitable that
And-
you will meet the abominable snowman.
And or
Comfortable.
or if you're really scared, Ashley, maybe an edible. That might be a little scary, right?
Edible.
Yeah, large edibles are scary.
No, I think so. I don't know. Are you planning on taking any other? Are you taking any long trips coming up or anything like that? As far as you can tell?
Of the psychedelic variety,
Yeah.
no. No.
Eh.
Did you?
Yeah, after that little experience, shout out to Manny Santiago for babysitting me. After that experience, I'm like, no, you know what? I think I'm just
Like,
gonna
I'm good.
lay low and drink and kill my liver. I think that's kind of the way to it's kind of the way to go. Yeah, that was wild. I felt compelled to share that story with you too because I was like, hey, guess who made a bad choice? Yeah, like wild. Every time I tell
Always
somebody
let us
that
know
story,
about bad choices,
Yeah.
and that goes to everyone.
Anybody?
Let us know.
Yeah.
We like them.
Yeah. So
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah. Unfortunately, because of other things I do for a living, I usually have to keep a tight lid on giant mistakes like that.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure that there's a level of because Kirk was like that for sure. With like a lot of times, I remember
Right.
we were talking about that again from Proper Bonics podcast.
Mhm.
I would record an episode, and a lot of times I would send it to him, and he would give me a bunch of edits back because he was worried about
Right.
a lot of that stuff. So I totally understand anything like that.
Right.
I just thought that was funny because abominable sounded a lot like an edible to me. John,
Well, you know what's
he says
funny is
abominable.
abominable?
Meaning
Abominable.
able to be bombed. Oh, okay. Oh, I got it now.
So you can.
You can bomb
Abominable?
snowman?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound right.
No. It's a bigger snowman and it moves, so you can get it. You can get it with a bomb. That's what he said.
That can't be right.
Speaking of bombs,
I don't trust your follower. I'm telling you now, Facebook and Instagram Live. I don't trust you guys.
it's
You need to
abominable.
send me some facts.
Facts.
This is not working. But I love Kirk because Kirk was actually at that
Yeah.
event when I made that big whoopsie. And poor Kirk, I hit on Kirk so hard. It was I was persistent. And
Yeah.
he kind of like would give me those surprised eyes of like, is this
Is this
really
happening?
it can be.
I was like, yeah, like right now. And then I felt terrible because there was one other guy that was lingering in the background who I think was hoping I would hit on him. And I was like, no. Like, look at Kurt. Look at him. Like, yeah, I'm going to hit on him. Like, what do you want? And then after the show, I messaged Kirk and I was like, Kirk, like, if you ever change your mind, I'm
awesome.
available. And he's like, I'll let you know. And I'm like, yeah, you let me know.
Yeah. Let me know when. Tell me when. Like, give
You
me
I'm
send
time.
me
outside
an
your
invitation.
door. I'm outside your
Send-
door already. No worries. Just open it.
Send me a LinkedIn. Like, let me know that it's real.
I'm always very nervous about when I do DM people. What up, Lemaire? Lemaire's in the YouTube chat. What's going on, buddy?
Hello, man.
But we would anytime. So I didn't realize that all those emoji, the emojis that immediately come up when you want to respond to someone's story on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized each one of those is like means a thing. Like I thought like
That's what emojis
no
are.
you don't understand. Like
okay.
like these like mean thank you or like this means something. You know what I mean? Like or doesn't it mean something? Am I wrong here?
I'm not sure what we're
Yeah.
we're talking about here.
But
yeah.
so what's
Is
your
not what?
so when
Well,
you
yeah, what's your
send those?
question?
Yeah. What's the question? What are you saying?
Because there's a lady in my jujitsu class that posted a really nice fall picture.
Uh-huh.
and I sent the
Hard eyes.
the hard eyes
Yeah,
because I
you
was like,
love it.
I
You
like
love
what
that
I'm
picture.
I like what
Yeah.
I'm seeing,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And then, but
generally
I
what
never did,
happens.
what?
That's what you do. You're loving that picture. You're loving that story.
Right.
But she thinks Pat wants to give her a pat on the butt.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. Like I don't know. So as far as you're concerned, I mean,
Yeah.
I know
I've
again,
sent John Hard Eyes DM on his stories before. I just meant that I liked whatever you were posting. I
Right.
loved it.
Okay, look,
That's
so-
what I mean.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull it
Now
up
you
here.
broke his heart.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Sorry, John.
I mean, I've done it for everybody. I've done it to Lemaire. I've done
Oh,
it to,
yeah.
I mean,
But
You
whatever.
do it for me.
100%, like clapping the
Yeah.
hands, like, heck yeah, I agree with that. Girl power.
Every now and again, I'll send like the clapping, and it'll be cheeks, and I'll be like, "Yeah, clap these cheeks." And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, "Oh, I meant like this."
okay, so what?
These chicks.
So like
These
the hat means like the party hat. It means
I think it's a horn. Like a.
but
I don't know
this
if that's a hat.
I don't know. It looks like a hat that has like party shit coming out of it. Is that a horn?
Yeah, because the hat would be like upright.
The other way around?
I feel like
You're
I'm
saying
talking
hats
to
can't go
my
upside down?
parents. They're like, I don't understand these emojis. What do these do?
Yes,
What are the
exactly.
kids into nowadays?
Well, hey, everybody's sliding in their DMs nowadays. I don't want somebody to get the
True.
wrong idea.
Okay.
That's
If I'm sending-
true. Some lady cancels Pat because she's like,
Because
Pat
I
was
didn't
saying
know.
that he was a big fan of me, and
He
then
wanted-
he sent me hard eyes.
He wanted to clap my cheeks and send me a hat. He clapped my cheeks and he sent me a couple hats.
I'm gonna clap your cheeks while I'm reading a book about cephalopods.
Oh my God, the praying hands means I'm fully trying to smash. Oh my God. John just uncovered it. Yeah.
Oh no.
You need to stop
No,
listening
John
to
told
these
me
people.
no, John has told me. He told me all about all the emojis. I think I did clarify, but the reason I wanted to bring that up was because I ended up quoting the fuck. I douched myself out so big time because I quoted myself, but I just loved
What?
okay. I was looking at the stories of this young lady and I say, "Oh, that's
Okay.
wonderful." I go to the site. It's a nature photography like page. It's Nat Geo, right? Now I'm looking through the page and I'm going, this is amazing. Why do I love this so much? Just thinking to myself, I'm past the guilt of her possibly thinking I'm trying to smash. So I'm at the point now where I'm like, why do I love nature photography so much? Because I love candid pictures so much.
Yeah.
And nature,
Gotcha.
Ashley, is always candid.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And that
I'm
is an official
gassed.
quote from Pat George on 11/10/20 at 3:58 p.m. I quoted myself. I did it myself. I did the work for you guys. You guys
Oh,
can make the
Pat.
shirts if you want. Make them. Nature is always candid.
I remember I think it was our
Oh,
4-year wedding anniversary. We went and got pictures taken, and he hated every second
I
of
hated it.
because we went to the Tampa Bay Lightning Arena.
Okay.
We had our jerseys on. I got my hair done. I got my makeup done. And he just wanted candid pictures. But it's really hard when, like, it was
Right.
just us and then, like, a high school boy getting his senior pictures taken there. So that was, like, it and the whole place. It's not like we were going to a game. And he was just like, he hated it. And they'd be like, put your arm around her, smile, put your leg up. And he's just like, I fucking hate you.
I don't sit
want to
like
do
this.
this.
That's what I just kept saying. I
Yeah,
don't
he goes,
sit like
I
this.
don't do this. I don't do this. Why are we taking these
Fair.
pictures?
I can kind of understand that. It's sometimes hard to pose, and especially but every now and again, you're right. It is nice to have pictures where you
Right.
hope someone is paying attention and catches a nice moment between
Right.
you and someone else,
Right,
or
right.
you like on stage when we do stand up and stuff.
Yep.
I think that's one thing that drives me absolutely crazy sometimes is like I'm not always super body positive about myself. Sometimes I'll get pictures back and I'm
Yeah.
like, burn it.
Yeah.
But there are so many times where I take pictures for other comedians consistently
Mhm.
and none of them will do it for me. And I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember for
Drives
a
me
while
crazy.
when he first started, because I would always go with him. And then I started
Right.
taking pictures of other comedians because there weren't other people there with them. So then I would send
Yeah.
them to, I would send it to them like, hey, I took these pictures, because he
Yeah.
always had so many, because I was just sitting in the audience taking pictures of him.
So nice.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's really nice of both of you, because not only do I know you've done that and I've seen it, but also Pat has been nice enough.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Pat will film if you want him to, or if he thinks it's appropriate, he will film your set for you and then be like, hey, I filmed your set if you want it. And I'm like, that's so nice of you.
Yeah.
I never ask, because I would rather slit my wrist than ever ask another comedian
If it's
to
Yeah.
tape my set. It
Yeah.
is just the worst.
like it's the worst, and you know why it's the worst? Because we all hate watching ourselves. We all hate having
Yes.
I hate having to hold ourselves accountable for the stupid shit we do on stage. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to record my set, every set, no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
and probably watched or listened to about 15%. You know,
See,
depending on if I'm editing it or not. You know what I mean? Like if I have to
Right.
edit it, obviously I have to watch to. But if there's something else, I don't like to edit my sets, because I don't want it to seem like there's like a
Yeah.
I'm making it seem
Yeah.
funnier. But if I do want to
Better,
just make
yeah.
it shorter for Instagram or something like that, I like
Right.
or like salvage footage that looks like shit and make it look even worse with other
Yeah.
filters. I can do that too. I can do anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I almost never tape, and that's just a personal
Yeah.
preference, because when you hate yourself as much as I do, you don't need to tape. You just relive it for days on end.
Yeah, it's playing in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. I remembered that was terrible. I don't have to watch that.
Yeah.
Don't have to watch that.
Yeah, I'm
again.
going to be up till 4 a.m. anyways, being like, I can't believe you told that joke tonight and had your hand here. Like, why are you like this? And
Yeah.
you just dwell on it for the rest of your life.
Ron's in the chat here. He says usually the worst comics ask you to do what they ask you is to film. Like the worst ones are usually the ones that are like, could you?
He's
take
not
pictures of me?"
wrong.
Like,
That is, unfortunately, that is kind of true. And here's another thing that I've told you guys privately, that what I like about you both as a couple and as hanging out with you and everything is, yes, it's fun to talk about what we do for a living, but it's also so nice to not talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I get so exhausted from trying to hang out normally with younger comedians who are still newer to what they're doing,
Yeah.
and they will constantly like start a conversation with like, so have you been getting stage time? You're working on your craft? And I'm just
Yeah.
like, bruh, I
Yeah.
am only thinking about the fact that right now the egg salad in the fridge is going to go bad if I don't eat it tonight. That's
Yeah.
what's on my mind
Right.
right now.
Yep.
I'm not thinking about like my comedy and like how I'm stacking up, or also like I love when they'll be like, oh, did you watch the new so-and-so documentary
Yeah.
or the
Yeah,
new special?
yeah.
Special.
And
yeah.
I'm like, no,
not really.
no,
Yeah,
sir. I
sometimes.
just got my copy of Cat Fancy magazine,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna spend the evening reading it.
I got a nice paperclip squid article I'm gonna read. I'm gonna curl up and
Exactly.
read it tonight and take some notes. That's what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
I'm gonna read about a fucking Yeti tonight.
Well, because here's my thing, and I'm not saying I'm right about everything, but here's my
course, you are.
opinion on that is that I still watch stand up when I can. I still love good stand up, and
Yeah.
it's good for the soul. You love it, but my one piece of advice for any like younger comedian, just my opinion, is if you get too enraptured in this and you start to lose your personality, you're also losing out on good material. Having normal relationships with normal
Right.
other people outside of the industry or within the industry, reading non-comedy books. Great. You read the the fucking Judd Apatow book. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
read
yeah.
a book about Mother Teresa.
Yep.
Like go read other things,
Right.
because you are going to slowly become a one-dimensional person, and you're not going to be that interesting.
And you just have to find the funny in life. Like that's the thing that's great
Yeah.
about comedians is your perspective of the
Right.
normal day to day.
Right.
That's what
Right.
makes you unique, and that's what makes you special, which is the same thing as unique.
Right.
And then that's funny because it's a genuine thought.
Right.
You came up with it, and people can relate to that. They can relate to
Right.
real life
Yeah.
things that are happening. But if you're just
Right.
one dimensional, or I've heard of other comedians too. Pat will do this where he'll have a thought and then be like, wait, did I say that? Like, that's really funny. But I don't know if I heard that. So if you consume
Right.
a lot of other people's comedy, even though you're not trying to steal, it's in your head.
Yeah.
And then it comes
Right.
out, and then you're like, wait, did I think of that? Or was
You know-
that something that somebody else said? And then it like,
Yeah.
At this point, like I don't, it's not necessarily just because of that,
yeah.
but it's also like the fact that there's really not enough fucking time to watch every fucking comedy special.
That's true.
Agreed.
But like, if one specifically stands out that people are like, oh, you have to watch it, usually I still won't. And it's not
Right.
it's not anything else besides. It's not because I'm not a fan of it. I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like that's
Right.
the thing is I know I'm going to enjoy Dave Chappelle's new special.
Right.
I know he's going to make some great points and make some really funny observations and really poignant thoughts. Like I got it.
Right.
Like and not saying that you should just stop experiencing new art after a while, but when it's the same
agreed.
when it's the same thing you're trying to pursue, I am very hyper aware of that. And it's happened plenty of times where I know it's happened with John Mulaney a couple times.
Yeah.
It's happened with Louis C.K. and it's happened and even with Dave Chappelle on the most recent on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, when he did a joke where he said the bright side about lockdown is the fact that there's no more school shootings and stuff like that. I had a bit that I was working on, but now it's like, well, Chappelle touched it. He touched it, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
better for me
Right.
for me it's better to just continue to just have my genuine thoughts and feelings, and then
Right.
if somebody says, oh, blah blah blah, has like fuck shithead, what's his name? Hambone.
Okay.
That idiot. He came up to me one time and said, "Hey, by the way, there was a thing about where I was doing a joke where I said, you know, Dom always says we were watching a documentary about couples that are dealing with terminal diseaes and stuff like that, and
Oh, yeah,
families
yeah.
that are dying. And she was crying during this documentary because she's like, what if that was you? And I was like, oh, you should just kill yourself, right? Because like you say you can't live without me. I'm calling your bluff.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know, if I die,
that
you
joke.
come with me, right?
Yeah.
And Hambone told me, he's like, oh, by the way, that joke you do, yada yada. He's like, I just saw Louis in Reading, and he did a thing where if somebody said my aunt died, I don't know what I should do, and I said you should kill yourself, or something like that. And I was like,
No.
I don't think that's the same, but I'll stop
It's
doing it.
not.
But I know, but it's like one of those things. It made him think of my joke.
Yeah.
And even though he's
Yeah.
an idiot, and I don't necessarily even respect him, I'll still
Yeah.
go like, yeah, all right. Well, Hambone said that.
I think if anything, if like you have those comedy obsessed like new people,
Oh,
we should always
God.
just direct them like, yeah, watch the local stuff. Like they're the ones that need the views. Don't consume all
Yeah.
of the other stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they have.
Right.
They have fans. They're established. Why don't you watch
Right.
like my stuff? What content am I putting out? Or local
Right.
people? They're the ones that
Right.
need the support. And if you're going to
It
consume,
just starts to feel like a giant circle jerk
yeah.
where they're all just like, oh, did you know how good I am at comedy? Do you know how much I love other comedy?
Yeah.
And
I
I'm like,
saw-
no, yeah, we get it. Like,
I saw a post of this guy. I don't know who he is, but he was working with a comedian friend in Florida, and he was like, "Oh, I'm headlining with him. This is the first time I'm co-headlining with him. This is the first time I've ever done it." And he has like this really long speech, and I'm like, he's probably been doing comedy like 2 months,
Yeah.
and he's friends with the booker, and the booker was like, "I'll let you co-headline with this guy that is blowing up."
Oh, you can bring 15 people? Okay.
Right, exactly. But it was
God.
like 5 paragraphs. I didn't read it all, but I was just like, wait, what? And then I laughed because I was like, oh yeah, he's really new.
that's
For him to like go
bananas.
down this whole thing, I would be like, if I was opening for an or if I was
Right.
headlining, I would like beef myself. Like I would not be like, this is the first time I've ever done this. Like,
You know
I would
what?
be like, yeah, it's cool. Whatever.
You know what I
I'm
call
doing this.
you know what I call the co-headliner? The feature.
You're right.
Well, yeah.
That's what you are.
Yeah, I've never even heard of a co-headliner.
Headliner means on the headline, top billed, whoosh, last one.
I've seen it once,
Yeah.
and right, they were both worthy headliners,
Uh-huh.
but I guess they just wanted to do like a show together.
Right.
So I don't know if you could call either the feature, but generally, yes, I would
Right.
agree with Pat that it's like
Yeah.
co-headlining doesn't make a ton of sense to me. It's like either you're doing more of a showcase, which
Right.
like doesn't always have to have a negative connotation,
Right.
but like you could have, because you know what I mean. They do that at clubs all the like big clubs like especially in LA, all the time. You could have
Right.
10 people all headlining across the country, but they're all together for like say one show, where they'll all show up at like Flappers or something.
Right.
And again, you're not really calling any of them the headliner of that show.
Right.
It's just a showcase of really good top talent.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's more of what you're looking for. But I hate when people throw the terms around like headlining.
They
I'm
make
like,
up their
you are
own
not
thing.
headlining.
Yeah.
They make up their own thing, and it's like one of those things of like, and it's so funny too. This is the funniest. This is the best way, and I love the I love the there's like little ticks you can find, because that's the thing is, when you're like, oh, I've been doing comedy this long, you have those conversations beforehand. You get to a show and they're like, I'm coming from here and I did this and blah blah blah, and then they're like the host or something. They go up and then they go da, 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 and they do whatever, however their set goes, and then at the end of it they go, all right, so your first comic tonight, and it's like, well,
that's your first mistake.
You just said you're not a comic.
Yeah, you're just a
so
host.
You're not a
comic? You're an MC.
You're just you're.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but calling a co-headliner, I feel like it's like saying co-finale. There's only one finale.
Yeah.
Agreed. It is a little bit weird. And yeah, the whole like dick measuring of who's been in the industry longer. I'm like,
it really doesn't matter. Like,
no.
There's a mixture of like being talented, but then also being in the right place, being around the right people. Because somebody could just have a couple of really good sets. They're really funny, and it's in front of somebody that has reach. And you go, hey, I found this is a perfect person for this. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it.
It doesn't mean anything, because I had expressed to someone recently that like I had really got started in different cities, and I know same for Pat. Excuse me. Where you then move to somewhere new, and it's like you're kind of starting all over again, and it doesn't really matter what your, to some degree, like what your years are or whatever. I mean, they'll see it in
you'll
the talent
get there
and
quicker,
how good you are. Right. But they're not. They don't give a shit what your credits are, like unless they're major coming from somewhere else.
Well, and that was our thing with moving to New York. So that's always been the end goal, was for us to move to New York. Now that everything's happened, we're kind of like, we're kind of cool out here. It's easy access in and out of New York now.
Absolutely.
But he was like, I want to be invited in. Like, I want to make relationships and not move there, because you do have to start over. Granted, he wouldn't have to it wouldn't necessarily take him 5 years, but it takes a long time to get onto mics early enough that the right people see you. So that you have to like build trust, and you have to work, and it just takes time. But we were like, no,
I couldn't even get accepted in Baltimore. Like, how the fuck am I going to go to New York City and have like these people like me? I just need to get them to like me first. Then I can just try
and make those connections, and then when you go there, then you can just get it. You can like just slide right in, you know.
Well, and I'll tell you, I think the most painful thing, my opinion. Now, I did get started when I was very, very young, and I went to New York first. I'm not saying that's
if you start there, that makes sense.
Well, but I'm also saying I don't know if that's always necessarily the right thing, and here's why. I cannot tell you how much it makes me cringe, personal opinion, when young comedians who I don't think, in my opinion, have cut their teeth enough, either on mic stages, whatever, just putting in the experience, that are like, I'm moving to New York. Yeah. And I'm like, are you sure about that?
Right.
Like, that's... And I'm like, cool, if you are ready to dig in deep and go for it, you have my blessing, man. Like, I wish you the best. But also, I'm like, be prepared for it to break your fucking heart.
Yeah.
That's a loud truck. But yeah, it is absolutely devastating. Something you could have a year or a few months or a moment that just sucks beyond belief, and you have to decide that inside yourself you're just going to keep moving.
Yeah, you just have to you have to keep trucking along.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
and also know when to quit.
Yeah.
That's true.
I know that's horrible. But there are some people that are like 10 years in, and I go, hey, look, I don't give a shit that you keep doing it. Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Then totally keep doing it.
Right.
But if you are semi-miserable, but you're like just this close to fame, I will take you out like Walking Dead and show you the flowers and end it for you. Like, I don't know who needs to help you, but it's gonna be me. Be like, every time a comedian realizes they need to give up, an angel gets its wings. Like, stop.
I think that's a really like poignant thing too. Like, not knowing necessarily when to quit, but your place in everything. This thing is like, as of right now, you know, people that look like me aren't necessarily in high demand. So That's okay. We've talked about this in the past.
Right. Bearded men. I get it.
Bearded white men that love love that free pussy. You know what I mean?
There's your number one problem.
Right? Yeah. So, and that's fine because I'm still gonna be the person I am. I just gotta warm up. You gotta warm up to me.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And I'm not looking. And honestly, what that is, and what a lot of people are in that, like, feel like people. I'm not trying to like break it. Like, I just need to make a living doing this stuff. And finding your place is, I feel like, such an important part of like how you personally can take your actual, like, whether it be psychological or like whatever it means, like your things, your tendencies, your ticks almost, and use them to your advantage and to help everybody else. So like, I like to like learn as I work. Like I like to, so like a lot of this stuff I kind of just took on and just started like fucking with it until I figured out how to do this, how to do that. I had some training in school and stuff like that for audio recording, but very little. Like a lot of it was
no video,
lots of no video, lots of tactile, like actually hands, like me playing music, recording it, trying to edit it, trying to do all that stuff. Like, and so like when it comes down to a lot of the stuff, like I know that after a while there's a level that you can get at where you can still make a living and not be the best whatever it is. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to be the next Dave Chappelle or anybody. Like, I just want to inspire. Honestly, what it is I was actually even kind of flattered when Louis' joke reminded Hambone of me. I was like, oh, that's cool that's in your mind. You know what I mean? Like, that's stuff like that. That's not my pinnacle. That's not what I wanted to achieve. But that's a step towards what I want to achieve. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's fair. And I also will say, and I hope that, I'm not going to name names or anything, and I hope no one in any way takes offense to this, but I've actually seen some comedians who are maybe, tepid at best, like they're okay, but I don't know if they have a place ever as a headliner, but I've seen people step out of the spotlight and become bookers and start producers and start running rooms and shows, and they are fantastic at it. And I'm like, you know what? You don't have to leave the industry. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, get the fuck out. You have a talent somewhere else that you have an eye for the talent of others, and you're business smart. You're organized, and you love to laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you obviously, there is very much a place that's needed. And in fact, then you facilitated other people's dreams, hopefully as well as yours.
Right.
So I think that the idea that everyone needs to be in the spotlight, even though we might most of us want that, I think there's amazing places out of the scene, that behind the scene, that like you're still so necessary.
Yeah. We've had that conversation a million times with some comedians, and they do a lot of, or I should say comedians, do a lot of booking. And they're really good because they have connections. And that's important to this industry. Like, you're still a part of it. And I think a lot of it is that they want to be a part of the culture and the community of comedy.
Yes.
Because it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I really enjoy it because the people are genuine. And it's like, it's always just like honest, real conversation. It's not, for the most part, obviously not everyone, but for the most part, everyone's honest, and like, whatever, if they don't like you, you'll know that they don't like you, and then you move on and you know where you are with that person, like, I guess that's not necessarily true for a lot, but from my perspective, I enjoy being around comedians. They're more open-minded. They can take a joke. Like, you don't have to feel so uptight around them. So I understand the pull to wanting to be a part of it, but you can be a part of it. But
absolutely,
just don't go up, because you're taking stage time from somebody else. And then if you're going to put on a show and put yourself up there and you do a shitty job, then now your shows have there's no value in it. And people aren't going to go to the show. So you're not being helpful. Like, put on these shows. You could host it, but you don't have to do time. Like, just go up stage, like, hey, we got a great show for you tonight, and blah, blah, blah.
Just
and
move it along.
Just keep it going. Like, and you're a part of something, and then the comedians around you are going to be grateful because you're getting them paid.
Right. And if you have and they're willing to work for you. Like they're
Yeah.
willing to do that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's what you don't realize is they're also grateful to you. Your
Yeah.
peers who are the comedians performing with you, they are grateful to you for providing them a place to do comedy.
Mhm.
Excuse me, for taking an interest in their work. And generally you get a good friendship out of it. And I always keep in mind, a list and a running kind of idea in my head of bookers that I repeatedly like to work with because they are respectful, timely, good communication,
Right.
Good at picking location, just all kinds of important things that really do go into it that sometimes go unnoticed or unseen. But also any booker should know that if you're working with comedians that are not grateful for what you're able to provide,
Bless you.
it's not a dynamic that works.
Right. And that
and don't be taken advantage of whether you're the comedian or the booker.
And that's the thing is I have such I've dealt with so many fucked up shithead manager, like whether it be a manager, booker, any of the above. And
I have to pee.
and I've had issues with people like I said with Ron is somebody that
I love Ron.
Ron, he was in the Instagram chat. I don't know if he's still there or not, but he's
a great booker.
He's somebody that I don't think he's not one of those people. That's not the person that like you don't do time, you don't have to do that. He's somebody that is willing to. He's that person that you're talking about. You picked this place, you picked this area.
Yeah.
You know these comics, you have this show, like there's some kind of consistency to it. There's not
And he's willing to learn.
Right.
Because there have been times where like, we found out the lighting was bad in this, and he takes good criticism. Like, let's see if we can fix that.
Right.
Or we have a less than stellar turnout or something at a show.
Right.
I always see him going back and reevaluating how we could do it differently. Do we need to move venues? How can we make it work? And
he's got that communication. He's got that, and like all of those things where when you have a vision of where you want to go with like what you're doing, like an idea of how you want it to be or how you want stuff to turn out, you get more of a finished product. So something like where like take for instance, they have the DNR podcast. It's him and Damien that host a podcast. I just listened to the most recent episode right before actually we recorded this one, and they're talking about like not like having an influence in Germany. They're having like all this other stuff. It's just because if you have an idea and you have a focus of where you want to be, you don't necessarily the quality will come. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things that like, because a lot of times that's my biggest thing is because they're a comic a lot of times. And I think that's why a lot of comics don't like to book shows is because of because you are a comic. So you wear all of the doubt, like you just you wear it right on the surface. So so when it's not a great turnout, I'm sorry nobody came out. Bro, I come here for an open mic. I would come here for free already, or whatever it may be, or what any of that stuff. It's the communication and it's the respect, and I think that comes from working hours in the actual industry you're trying to manage. So, like, he's a great example of somebody who is able to take an idea that he wanted to do, and run with it. And when you run with it, you find a consistency it returned. Like whether it be people saying, "Oh, I've been seeing what you're doing. I like when people just bring up."
Well, also booking value. Like, don't just book your friends.
Right.
Book
that is
actual,
the worst.
Like
Ron.
actual.
Hell yeah, Ron is here.
Comics like that are good comics, or that at least put forth the effort.
Right.
Like they're at least trying. Maybe they're not
I've
quite where they need to be, or where they will be, or whatever. It takes time, but still, like people that are really working at it and that are good.
Yeah.
Like don't just book your friends because they're gonna book you.
And he's asked me. He's like, we've even talked afterwards, like about like jokes or something like that, or whatever it may be. And it's not. And like you were saying earlier, those conversations you can have, like, did you see the new Louis? Did you see the new whatever? Did you see the new anything? And it's like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't mind that talk, but if it's all that, there's no substance to it.
Yeah.
Then it's just all small talk. But me and him have had some pretty, like, I feel like pretty in-depth conversations about like writing. Not just, you know what I mean? Like, not just like, you know, and I do understand, and I hate using that voice to like. I don't mean to mock anybody I've ever talked to. But like you always have that thing of like, hey, I like that one joke or whatever, and it's like, I appreciate the note and everything like that,
of course.
but a lot of times it feels like, and then did you see my set? Like people have asked me, people have
like,
come up to me
egging it on.
afterwards and asked me if they saw if I saw their set, and it's like,
You also have to take that as a compliment because they want your opinion on it.
yes, and that's what I'm saying.
Right.
It's like one of those things. So, and not that it's not that I'm not watching your set.
Right.
I am getting
Right.
ready for my set, or I'm going over what I just went over in my
It's not
set.
hate for you. It's like, bruh,
Right.
I'm
got
out
my
here
own
in
thing.
this moment for myself.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not hate for you. It's not me wishing you ill or trying to ignore you.
Right.
It's like, bruh, I've got my own thing going on.
Right.
And I will try and acknowledge you next time, or spend more time paying attention.
Right.
I will, and if you ask me, I'll be like, you know what, just next time or whatever. But if you ask me every week,
Yeah.
did I watch your set? It's like, bruh, unless you get some new jokes, I've been seeing all of them.
Right.
So no,
right.
we're good.
Make me pay attention. Like
Yeah.
write something that makes me go, what?
But
Yes.
also,
What did he just say?
but I don't.
She's just saying.
And I don't mean it to sound like a condescending thing. Like I don't mean
No.
to sound like that. I've discussed this with Dominique so many fucking times. I feel like I am oftentimes unapproachable to people because of their
Oh.
perception of me, whether it be by my own words or
Why do
or-
people think I don't like them? Pat, you once told a guy that you'd rather kill yourself than talk to him.
yeah. But like, yeah. Like I don't even deny it. Yeah. What's the issue?
What's the
I've done
problem?
that before. Someone
Right.
come up to me and been like, "Do you not like me?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yes.
I thought you knew that.
Oh, yeah, I
Who?
don't
Why
like
are
you."
you questioning that? Did you hear it from someone else that I liked you?" I said, "Don't. You're
so
right.
I
You got
just
that
got
right."
sidetracked.
Right.
I'm really sorry.
No.
It looks like this is Pat's head is attached
his-
to this.
It
and
is.
It looks kind of funny.
I'm the baby
Well, and
mermaid.
at first I was like, "Is that Pat's rack?"
Yeah. My titties.
Like I was like, "You got some sweet titties.
Thank
Look at
you.
those." And is that your doll? So I was like, "This is okay, Pat. All right.
Okay.
I see why they call you Baby Mermaid. You got a whole set going on
I
there."
got them little mermaid tits. I got them little mermaid titties, baby.
Put seashells
titties.
on them.
Yeah, I should put.
Oh my God, you've got murmury glands.
That's the name of the podcast. I
The
already
new
forgot what the
podcast,
other one was.
Free
murmury
pussy.
glands.
Oh, free pussy.
There's so much wrong there. I'm just like, that's a real nightmare.
But yeah, I don't like. It's just cool. Like I don't want it to ever seem like I'm a bad person. Like I'm trying my best to be a
course.
good person. But if
Yeah.
you just think if it's just your perception, and that's something that I said a lot of times, like if it's just you going like, oh, he'll probably be mad if I talk to him, then yeah, that's you. You're a bitch.
That's on
you.
Like
Oh, right.
get over yourself. But like
Right.
as far as just like you don't have to think of like it's not like think of something interesting then go discuss it with Pat. I'm a dumb fucking idiot.
But I think that comes with like anxious people because
Yeah.
you don't like
Yes.
you
And
don't
and
want
that's
to
where
be
that
judged
and that's where that
you
comes
don't-
in. That's where that comes in to say
Yeah.
like, oh, I
Because
like
that would be
now
me.
I have a
I'd be
topic.
like because
Yeah.
you're intimidating not in the I don't know, like scary sense, but just like you're a legit comic. Like you're funny. Like what if you don't like my comedy?
Yes.
Like I would be scared.
Well, see,
but for
you know what's
me,
funny?
that would
Yeah.
go through my
Well,
mind.
I was never intimidated when I met Pat because I think we had a mutual friend that had recommended meeting Pat at some point, and
Okay.
I was like, I've seen him on Facebook. I know who that is.
Right. I'm not
So
great
I
on
just
paper,
confident-
but I'm great through like if somebody recommends me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like if they're not scared of me, I'm not scared of them. But I think I was more true story. I think I was more afraid of Dominique the first time I
Oh.
met Dominique at Harrisburg Comedy Zone because she has no reason to care. She has no reason to have to socialize. So she's sitting there just staring at her phone, and she's like, she's like, what?
Yeah.
So maybe you're
I'm
the
like, oh,
intimidation.
Oh,
she's
100%.
scary.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's more of like, it's my own anxiety. So again, it has
Fair.
nothing to do with you. It's that I
know
don't, like, I have such social anxiety that
Fair.
it like, I don't know. I'm not super outgoing. And so I just have
That's
to like
okay.
see like, okay, where is this going? Who is this person?
You're
But
like a stray cat.
yeah, but yes. It's like my defense mechanism. It just takes time. That's all.
Right.
Is it once you're in, and we're good. But it's just like, who are you? I don't.
But there's nothing.
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Unfortunately, both my super strength and my downfall is I love being inclusive. I like meeting new people very often, very quickly. Unfortunately, it also gets me burned very often that I easily will welcome people in and then find out that their intentions are less than, or I spend too much time with them, and then I'm like, ew, you're annoying.
Yeah.
And then I need to get rid of them.
Sometimes, Ashley, you need to let that relationship cool a bit before you dive in.
What is that from?
No, I just right here.
Is it? I don't know. Oh, I thought it was being funny because I'm like, how dare you? Like I'm working on it. It's like a slow cooker. I'm working on it.
When you're building a relationship, and it needs time to cook, but it also needs time to cool, baby.
Gotta let it rest.
Gotta let it rest.
Pat,
you cook
Pat
the
is
lasagna.
being gently critical because I confided in Pat once about a relationship.
Hold on a second now.
No, which I'm glad I did. Hold on.
Point at you. You point at me. I'll point at you.
But Pat was saying like, hey, you might have overinvested and now you're feeling super bummed because you probably should have taken it slower and now you're devastated.
But
I was like, oh yeah.
I was actually literally talking about lasagna.
Oh my God, I fucked lasagna one time.
Look,
it was one
if you
time.
want to talk to me about you fucking lasagna, I'm going to give you some points on fucking lasagna, okay?
It was one time the sauce was very meaty.
If you
I had no self-control.
But if you have that, if like that, I guess that's the thing is like you have those, like if you're patient in any of the things, whether it be comedy, whether it be a hobby or relationships, any of those things, just being patient and not reacting, but like actually just like planning it out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm saying
no,
that,
but you're not wrong.
But even just like something like, because I have to put everything else in another thing, like another way of
you
learning.
Compartmentalize.
Says the person that he said the first time he saw me he was gonna marry me.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't say that to me, like because I might have been like, what? But that, like, be patient. But he's like, I'm gonna marry that girl.
I said that, and then how long was it before we actually got it? It was 2 years.
After that, it was 2 years later we were married.
No. Hold on. 2 years before we got together, before we dated.
No.
Yes. Yes. Do you want me to say fuck? Do you want me to say fuck? I'll say fuck.
Took a long time.
Okay.
It took a long time.
2 years. 2 years of just talking.
Yeah, I guess that was a lot of patience on it.
So, hey, you can take that party hat and turn it around into a fucking horn, brother.
Was it worth the wait?
Yes. Because I was
That'd be great if he was like, no,
it sucked.
Hey, Hambo's
now I'm
here.
stuck with you in Harrisburg, PA, and we've got a dead cat.
Yep.
We talked about you earlier, Hambone. Hey, welcome, Hambo.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Hey,
Showed up.
Hambo.
We said very nice things. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
But yeah, be patient. Fucking wait.
Because and then I reached out to you and I was like, hey, let's hang out. And then I reached out to Meg too, which that took all my strength to send that message out to you ladies and be like, hey, I saw that you two are friends on Facebook. I think the three of us would have a great time. Let's hang out. And I sent that message and I was just like sweating afterwards. I'm like,
oh,
They haven't read it yet.
what if they don't like me?
Am I correct that I think how this kind of like even spiraled before then was, I know I had seen you before at Comedy Zone every now and again, but obviously with COVID it hadn't been very much at all.
Oh no.
Since the last time I'd really seen you.
Yeah.
And then we did the show with Ron
at
the park, and you came up to me afterwards very briefly and you went, that was super funny, you're so funny. And I was like, oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember, I think, did I friend request you? I kind of feel like I did. Or did
Probably.
you?
It might have been me. I don't know. I really don't know. But either way, it was you.
Either way, I was like, oh, it's like leaving food out for the stray cat, and then you get to pet it for a second.
Oh. Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm working on this cat.
Yeah.
And then whenever you sent me, I was like, boom, I got the cat.
And now you're stuck with me.
I got the cat, and I was like, oh yeah, this cat's gonna live another 16 years.
But I think that's the other thing too of like. I'm like, oh, okay, this person came up, like, you were really nice to me. You introduced your, like, you saw Pat at the Magoobies thing, that whole ordeal. And then I saw, you do stand-up. And again, like, for me, that's where I can see if somebody's, like, genuine. Like, you can kind of, I don't know. That's
talking
just
about pooping myself.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's awesome. Like, she's good people.
Jeez.
Like, you can really tell from somebody's stand up, like if they're good people. And so I don't know, just kind of it just takes me a minute, but once we warm up, it's all good.
That's why Hambone's on the chat and you're on the screen.
Oh, that got me good. My boy, that got me good. No, you know what? I appreciate that. And I will just tell you, you know what? Talking so much about my horrific irritable bowel syndrome has caused like a new sort of advocacy movement where I could be at hot yoga. I could be at a Gap. I could be literally anywhere. And a girl who has seen me in any capacity or heard me will come up and kind of quietly go, excuse me. And I go, yeah, how can I help you? I heard that you sometimes shit yourself on accident. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And she'll go, I would like to tell you the time I shit myself. And these girls I do not know will then start to tell me their poop stories. And I can feel just this weight has been lifted from them. And they're like, I just thank you for letting me share. And then they'll kind of disappear off into the food court around the Orange Julius. And I'm like, this is wild. Like, I've started a movement of women being able to be like, I am not ashamed of my leaky asshole.
We shouldn't be ashamed.
This colon is clear.
Amen. But it's wild because what's funny, like besides the obvious about it though, is that one of what you consider maybe one of those embarrassing things about being human, which is the ability to produce excrement, for women is like super still taboo in some ways, which is wild. And it's so funny to see women somehow feel empowered to come up to me and be like, I know you don't know me, but can I talk to you about my bathroom habits? And I'm like, let me get a seat. But yeah, it's fun to be genuine and real like that. And it's also because it's weird when people are like, oh, it's all just an act. Ashley talking about this much shit is an act. And I'm like, no, I go in for surgery on Tuesday.
This is how I know I'm unapproachable, because I talk about shitting my pants all the time and nobody ever talks to me.
They're like, ew, he's
it makes
gross.
Sense. Yeah, they're just like, that makes sense.
We must have fecal particles in his beard.
we imagine his are very messy.
Dude, mine are disastrous.
Yeah, well, I
mean,
you're just so
I could
damn
level a city block.
You're just so damn approachable.
It's terrible.
I want to bring this into more literacy, if I may.
Sure.
I've got today's Pat's word of the day.
Okay, what is it?
Okay.
This has been an uphill battle so far, because again, what I'm learning, not just about shit habits or how approachable I may or may not be, but I'm learning about cephalopods and words, because I'm not good with words, and I've chosen a couple different professions where I kind of need to know them.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. So if I want to expand my vocabulary, that's pretty good. Those are big ones.
That's good.
I'm learning words. It's been a little tough this week. We've only gone through Monday, and Monday's word was opuscule.
What?
Opuscule. O-P-U-S-C-U-L-E. Opuscule.
Okay.
I'm even saying that right.
Good job. What does it mean?
It means a small or minor literary or musical work. It's an opuscule.
Un poquito.
Yeah. So I fixed it. This was one of the words I had to fix, and I called it Lil Opus.
I was gonna say because
It's a Lil
yes, I
Opus.
love magnum opus.
Yeah, Magnum
Yes.
Opus. There's Micro Opus or Lil Opus.
Lil Opus.
Not Opuscule.
Lil
Opus cool.
Opus. This is my son, Lil Opus.
My Lil Opus. I love my
my
Lil Opus.
Lil Opus.
So hopefully this one goes better. I don't know. This is
Okay.
another one of those words where I feel like it's like androgogy, where everybody thought I was trying to say androgyny,
Yep.
but it's not.
Okay.
Androgogy.
Right.
Adult education. You ready for this?
Ready.
Okay.
It's spelled IRENIC. Ironic? Ironic?
Ironic.
Isn't it ironic?
See, it's not. It's ARENIC.
Oh, AR.
IRENIC. Ironic?
Ironic.
Ironic. That's the record scratch.
Huh.
That's the actual word for record scratch.
Oh, really?
Ironic. Let's find out.
It literally
Oh.
actually sounds.
I thought that was a definition of a record scratch.
No. Do you want to?
Okay.
Do you want to try to pronounce it?
Me?
Yeah.
Ironic?
Is that right? You think?
I don't know.
You're not familiar.
No.
I have no idea.
All right. So, let's see.
Ironic.
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 Damn, she sounds sultry.
Yeah, she does.
I want her to.
Ironic.
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 Isn't it ironic?
Isn't it ironic?
Don't you think?
Don't you think?
It means its origin is Greek mid 19th century, and it's an adjective
sounds
for
accurate.
aiming or aimed at peace.
You mean it like
Ironic.
reconciliation?
Ironic.
Like peace? Like
Yeah, like peace.
PEACE?
I'm just here. I'm a boy sitting on the internet trying to be ironic. Trying to bring peace.
Wait, is it an adjective?
Yeah.
Yeah, adjective.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Ironic.
It's
Ironic.
aiming or aimed at peace. Okay.
I don't.
That's a shitty word.
Use that in a sentence, please.
Oh, hold on. Let me find out. I can do it. I can do it.
When would I ever use
Yeah,
that?
when
That
would
is
you
a
use that?
disappointing word.
Examples of ironic in a sentence. Quote, I try to read ironic poetry for bed because it helps me sleep better.
Okay.
Who the fuck said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't use that word, but that makes
No.
sense. Okay. Okay.
This will go with your hot yoga. The yoga retreat aimed to put us all in a more ironic frame of mind.
Oh, because it opened me up like I had taken a diuretic.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So is there a way?
What?
Do you think there's a way to improve this word? I don't think so.
no, I think it's
No.
actually.
I'm just never going to fucking say it.
No, they should take it out of the dictionary and replace it with whoop.
Ooh.
Got a whoop.
Wandering ass pussy, right?
Wandering ass pussy.
Wandering. Yes, the Jews wandered in the wet pussy desert for
No,
many
it wasn't wet.
years.
It was very dry. It was a
It
very
was very dry.
desert. Yeah,
It was
so-
very dry. They were looking for WAP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were looking. God promised us milk and WAP is what.
I almost so I want to also take a quick moment to talk about a good friend of mine that I met through a job I used to have at the Hard Times. I was a producer for a Hard Times podcast, and I met during that time many different contributors that were both funny, talented, ranging all the way to boring and could not wait to get them off the fucking phone.
That is not true.
Yes, that is absolutely true. I'm not saying who's who, but I will tell you one of the good ones.
Yes.
One of the good ones is John Danik. John
Oh, I thought you
Danik.
were saying that about him. I'm
No.
like, he's not boring.
No.
So awkward.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, that's
Like I'm not
true.
ironic here with all these words. Yeah, Ron said it sounds like a sexual position. You're right.
Yeah.
Like especially the way she said it. Ironic.
Ironic.
Ironic. But if you want to be,
I want you to put your Aranic in my.
yeah, it's your air in your neck.
your
You know what? I want to fuck you between your air and your neck.
That's ew. That's a gross. Just be like, I didn't know you had 3 eyes.
Ow,
Blah.
ow, ow.
Ah,
Like your
God.
hip and your jaw or the back of your head. It's not going to feel good.
Oh God.
Oh.
I want to fuck you right between your ear and your neck. That's where.
Oh,
That's
God. Ah.
so we just changed the meaning. That's all. But
I don't like it.
Mr. John Danik is a musician as well as I believe he works on the Conan show. He works on for the Hard Times as a contributor, and just an all around just great guy.
Nice
like honestly,
guy.
if we could have him on if he wanted to be the third mic on this podcast, he has one of those people. I believe Ashley, you would also have that open invitation anytime. There's very few people I feel like that would be that I can easily like just like just effortlessly talk with.
Like we could talk for hours.
Yeah.
Like
So-
when
We
you
did one weekend.
Right. I'll just say you popped in and it was this supposed to be an in and out visit, and I think you were here for like 4 hours.
Yeah, we made
which was
hours.
totally fine.
We
Like,
had coffee.
we
No, I
enjoyed
think
it.
honestly,
People thought I died because they couldn't get a hold of me, and I was like, "Oh, I stopped at a friend's house for coffee." They're like, 4 hours? And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it was a lot of coffee."
and honestly, I don't even think you had a second cup of coffee. You had just that one cup
I
of
think
coffee.
I did.
But
I think it was just the one.
there he's one of those guys, and I follow him on Instagram at jdanik, and today on 11/11
my nephew's birthday.
2020
Aw.
he has released his I believe first ever full EP. Four-song
Awesome.
EP.
Congrats.
And the name of it, I love the name, by the way. It's 4 Lackadaisical Songs of a Dubious Origin.
Nice.
I think the name is actually longer than the album. And
You did really well
I did.
with saying that. I'm proud of you.
I
High five.
fucking practiced.
Okay, good.
I'm so
so-
proud of you.
Ashley, if I may, I'm just going to play just a little bit of it. I didn't know for sure if I was going to, but so far, this is my favorite song off the album. It's called, it's on, you can find it on Spotify. I think I will try to buy a copy of it as well, just so I can support my buddy. But I listened to it today on Spotify. Glistening is the third track on here, and he's located on Spotify as Danik.
Got it.
So I don't
Danek.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if this is gonna kick me off YouTube or not, but I don't give a fuck. Just in case. And this
Fuck
is
you,
Glistening.
YouTube.
Yeah, fuck.
Well,
fuck
I'm
YouTube.
sure he won't mind, right? Isn't it more about the artist?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would think. Well, I think that's the. I think that's the point. Is they don't have control.
Oh.
Great guitar player. Sounds fucking good, right?
Yeah.
Like I told him. I was
Is
like,
he just doing guitar, or is he doing everything?
I believe everything. I think if I remember correctly, I believe he said that it's him. I think he's in the chat right now. I don't know for sure, but I believe it was just
John,
him
answer us.
Yeah.
with maybe just one other person.
Okay. Cool.
I think maybe, but they were all recorded in his house.
Well, that sounds even
You know what I
better.
mean? The guy can play piano. He can play guitar. He can play. As far as I know, he can play all of it. So
Because we talked about he is still like I think to this. Oh no, I can't remember if his piano teacher passed away, but like he has a relationship with his piano teacher. I remember being fascinated by that because my parents made me take piano lessons and I hated every second of it. So I was like, did you enjoy it? But he took piano for like 11 or 12 years.
Yeah.
But they say if you learn piano first, you can pretty much play any instrument after that.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
And he is absolutely a testament for that. But
That's crazy.
It's there's and again, like I was telling him earlier, I was like,
I think he's in.
Oh, we got. Oh yeah, he
got
just
you,
me.
John.
He just me for all the sounds. Just had to outsource the artwork. So that's incredible, right?
Incredible
Much
job.
like me, like a lot of times, like I can do.
That's awesome.
I can do the video. I can do the audio. I can do this and that. But like as far as like making it look nice, I have to outsource for this stuff. Where is it?
Yeah.
Right. No, I
over
get
here,
that. You
this
know
one.
your strengths and
You
you
know
know,
what I
your
mean?
weaknesses.
Right. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even pick fucking fonts half the time. So honestly, John, this is a fucking. I honestly feel like
Congratulations.
it sounds really
Good
you
job,
should
John.
be.
Yeah.
I was telling him earlier, like you should be proud. Like it's
Yeah.
paced well for a 4-song EP. It is definitely a step in the right direction. I feel, and also I love the artwork too. The name is the funnest part. I feel like that's It's fun to say, and I even said it all correctly.
You
so
did.
really
I'm
proud of
very
myself.
proud.
Yeah.
And
what
lackadaisical
matters.
is one of my favorite words to use at work.
Such
Really?
a
You're
good
being
word.
so lackadaisical right now. I need you to move with some urgency.
Yes. I also love
word.
that and the word brouhaha.
The name of it is the it's 4 lackadaisical songs of a dubious origin by Danik on Spotify.
That is
but I do
impressive.
suggest buying a copy because it supports my
Definitely.
buddy John.
Yeah.
And honestly, at any time, John, you're here. John Danik, not John Montag. He should be out of here. I don't know what happened. I told him to leave fucking hours ago. John Danik is my new John. Okay, that's my only John as of right now. I'm only friends with John Danik and Hacks Comedy Golf. He left. Holy shit! No. I was
Joe, come back.
I love how Pat's
John.
not even that mean, and he has a good way of just getting people to leave. I need to have you hang around me more.
Yeah.
It's
That's
lackadaisical is my favorite word ever. That's his favorite word as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh boy,
That's
now I got feud and Johns in the chat. Shit,
Oh.
they're gonna fight. Oh,
Sons
God.
of Thunder.
Don't hurt
No,
your hands.
it's-
Not your beautiful hands, John. Or your beautiful face, John. John's got a beautiful face. I mean, not that other John does. Oh no. Now I'm turning. Now that both Johns are gonna hate me.
You both have beautiful bodies.
Both of you are beautiful the way you are, Johns.
Yes.
Okay, kiss fight. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd watch that.
Now we're good.
Circled.
Yeah.
I'd watch that, no problem.
Yeah. Whoever jerks the other off to
Yeah.
completion wins.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just kidding. Oh man.
Oh,
We need to.
that was
They're gonna stick
fine.
together.
Jesus.
Oh.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I
those
think that
Johns
would-
got to stick together.
I honestly feel like that would
That got
be
dark.
that would definitely influence a great album though, like a full length album. Like this is if the dubious origin was dubious before, it can only become more dubious, right?
Oh, almost sinister.
What does dubious mean?
I don't know.
I thought it was
Adding
the
it to the
same as
list.
Sinister, almost the same. Similar.
Sinister. Ooh, I didn't know they came from John's. Okay, John J. Manny's contributed. Manny's here too. Hey, Manny.
Hey, Manny.
Manny, Ashley wanted to thank you very much for helping her out, but not in specifics.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, remind me again. Who just said what?
Manny
I think
Santiago.
it was-
Manny's in.
Manny's
He's
in the chat.
Oh, Manny's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in.
And I was
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that-
Sorry, I misheard, and I was like, "Wait, who's talking?"
Wait,
No,
what?
Manny's the best.
Yeah.
I've always liked Manny. Manny and I met doing the Magoobies competition, like
Yeah.
a monthly show together there, and that's how we met. And then of course we ran into each other like a year later with him helping run the mic at the Comedy Zone.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I've always gotten along with Manny, but I know he knows
good
this. But
people.
again, I'm so appreciative of him taking me back to his apartment, feeding me Chipotle, and showing me wrestling for like a lot of
Ooh, I want
hours.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Can we have Chipotle?
Yeah, we can have Chipotle.
I
Sounds
don't watch
delicious.
wrestling, but the colors were very
Right?
calming.
Oh my
Right.
God, you should be
Great.
on this end of it. Like when you get to hear some of the things they say and some of the you're like, whoa. Their view of wrestling is a lot of fun, and there's a lot of colors.
It was, I gotta tell you, I've never felt so pacified in my life that I was like, well, look at that chair. And I was like, why are they so mad?
Manny does have great chairs. Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah. No, I think got a cramp.
You should probably drink
That
some
was-
more water.
Podcast
That
injury.
That was the weirdest moment I've ever. I'm like, we're like 10 minutes from being done, and I'm just like, did he just die on the air? Like, I'm still gonna log out of the chat. I'll let you guys deal with that.
I don't know what happened. There we go. Okay.
Oh,
Do you need me to rub it for you?
No, it's good.
Ooh,
That was a
I'll
bet.
pay extra to watch that.
Yeah. Come on. You want to get more viewers.
If we get these Johns kissing, then you can rub my leg. If these Johns start kissing, you can rub anything you
Okay.
want
Sorry.
on
Oh
camera.
my god,
We're gonna
This
start
is
an
its-
OnlyFans.
I was gonna say this is its whole own channel. Like we got a section where we
Yeah,
have two
yeah.
guys named John make out with each other.
We got
and then
OnlyFans
we'll-
and then Only Johns.
And then that can get really confusing because I have a channel where it's only all Porta Johns.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's
that's
just
fun.
me giving my my review of different porta potties around the area when I need to go.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah,
10
that's
out
good.
of 10. This one actually has real toilet paper, and it looks like it gets cleaned more than once a week.
John Danis got to head to work, so we
Okay.
appreciate you, buddy. Thanks so much for letting me play some of your music. Hopefully, it doesn't get me kicked off, and everybody can hear
Yeah,
it. But
everyone check
everybody
it
got
out.
to hear it here, but check it out
Yeah.
for sure. But there's a feud going on about if there should be a kiss fight or not. And also, Ron Kane
Always,
also
yes.
suggested that
Always.
John sticking together sounds like the name of a lizard convention. A lot lizard convention. I apologize. I
lot
misread
lizard.
that.
Oh, yes. Okay, okay,
That's
okay.
my bad, guys.
Yeah, it's just like
what?
I fucked up the timing. That's
No.
my bad.
It's when we're live and I have to pretend that your joke is a good idea, and I'm like, hilarious.
No.
What's he
Don't worry.
talking about?
They're never a
What
good
is he
idea.
No, that's funny now.
The other thing that's coming out on December 7th that I did, that was a little bit ago, that is, I'm really excited that's coming out, is I did an episode of Strong Words with Ian Strong, and we did an episode where we did a countdown, a rating almost, a list compiled together of four doughy white dudes, and then a couple other, I'm sure, doughy white guys, and maybe a doughy white lady or something. But it's basically us dudes compiling our list rankings of View Askew movies. Of all of the Kevin Smith movies featuring Jay and Silent Bob, I found out was officially what it is. And if you want to check that out, it's on iTunes. I don't think we didn't do a video, so I don't think he has a video element, but I believe it's on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, all that stuff. So
what is
check
it called again?
Strong Words with Ian Strong. He's a guy that we had on Falls Count Anywhere. I met him through there, and he's also been to a couple of the open mics at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone. He does music. He does podcasting. I believe he's an ex-pro wrestler.
Jack of all trades.
He's a jack of all trades.
Oh, wow.
And he's another person that I feel like it would be really great to have him on here, because he's another person that it's really interesting to talk to. He's got some really cool, fun stories, and honestly, it's fun. It was fun to revisit those movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now to say, like, in the lens of, like, not just a little stoner, but now you're a full-grown adult stoner. Like, how do you take those movies?
A fully formed stoner.
Fully formed.
Did you even
evolved.
smoke pot back then when those movies were popular?
Not like so. Up till Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I don't think I was necessarily smoking weed for like the new Kevin Smith releases. But
Gotcha.
for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back in particular, I was going to see that in the theaters with my brothers, and I was not old enough to see it at the time, but we were hanging out in the car beforehand, and we were indulging in a little bit of the devil's lettuce before the movie. Because, you need to get your mind right before Jay and Silent Bob movie, right?
Takes a certain mindset to fully enjoy those movies.
That mindset is high as fuck.
I will say, I obviously have not partaken of said things until like recently within the last year. But I don't like love the Jay and Silent Bob movies. Not that there's anything wrong with them. It just like doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
But I do love Dogma.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I love Dogma so much. And I also love Mallrats, which is like a Kevin Smith movie. And I just love Mallrats so much. But Zach and Miri Make a Porno is probably one of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Well, I really like his movies. The other ones,
Red State.
Red State was fantastic, and that's
shockingly good.
Not his like lane at all, and he did so good with that. And then I really liked Tusk.
I liked it.
Like it was different.
So wild.
Yeah,
it's
crazy. It's such a like random thing, but I really enjoyed it.
And Dogma was my number one, actually.
Oh yeah, Dogma.
Didn't he also do like a more like romantic / serious piece?
Jersey?
Like was it Garden
Jersey Girl?
State or Jersey?
Jersey Girl.
Jersey
Girl.
Ooh, Garden State.
Yeah,
that's
fucking...
my jam. That was me in
I
high
like
school.
They're all the same.
Only person to say that.
No,
ever.
that is fully my jam. Like I loved Garden State in high school. I think I probably saw that movie 6 times in the theater, and then I listened to the soundtrack like constantly. Like that was my jam.
Jersey Girl.
That's so cute. Unfortunately, that wasn't me. I think the closest I ever came to that was when I was in college. I kept telling all of my dates that I hadn't seen Deadpool yet.
Yeah.
So that way they each kept paying for my ticket to Deadpool.
Perfect.
And I saw
That's
it like 8 times in theater.
They're giving their officially the rules of the podcast, because I was like, holy shit, where am I going to put like Tusk as in the middle of all these, because I do like
it doesn't
Red
make
State.
yeah.
But I found out the View Askew officially the View Askew-niverse movies, I guess, are only ones that feature Jay and Silent Bob as characters. So like even Chasing Amy was in there, which was a fucking slog. Good God, that movie stunk.
I don't think I've ever finished it to completion.
I don't think I finished it either. Like I know him and I had watched it together, but I don't think we finished it.
Yeah, John likes the Garden State soundtrack too. Yeah, he was.
Hell yeah,
He was
John.
another one sounding off about
yeah.
the Taking Back Sunday thing that he liked. Like, there's just a whole lane of people that just like
Wait,
in my
are
opinion,
you,
chick
John,
stuff.
are
growing
you
up.
pro TBS or
Yeah.
Okay, well,
He's a pro TBSer all day. He loves TBS,
Oh.
but a lot of those things. So like Tusk would have been higher up. Like Ron says Tusk for sure.
yeah, for sure.
And John, the only John left in the fucking chat, said that Jersey Girl is his opus. So I don't know if he does. Yeah, he does like Taking Back Sunday.
Eh.
Chasing Amy. You like Chasing Amy, Manny? That's crazy.
Not
That
anybody to
Manny
like random
went
things.
Something new
It would
every
be
day.
Manny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be Manny.
It would be Manny.
But
Anytime you're like, I don't like something, Manny's like, I like it.
the surprising thing is the fact of how many other lists, not just the people in the room or whatever, how many of them like had like Jane Silent Bob higher up, if not number one. And I was like, there's no way that this is the best movie. But if it's about what you
But
enjoy
I
the
really,
most.
really, really enjoyed Clerks.
Yeah, Clerks was
Clerks
okay.
is great.
I
I don't know
really
if I ever
liked
finished
it.
Clerks 2.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't think, but like it was so different. It was almost like a play because they would like
Yeah.
end scenes, and the acting is not great
great.
because you can, but
Right.
it's like that. That's what gives it the character. Was it's like they're
Yeah.
friends putting on a movie, you know?
Right.
And
It felt more realistic.
yeah, and I really liked that it was kind of like, I'm not supposed to be here today. Like everything that's
Right.
happening,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen. Like this wasn't what my day
Right.
was supposed to look like. And I really genuinely enjoyed watching Clerks.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that, because like there's a, because actually that's a funny thing too. They're bringing up this about how many, like the fact that it's New Jersey is such a big part of it. They all
Yes.
take place in Jersey.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
all like
Right.
mention New Jersey or landmarks that he knew growing up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is weird that like a movie like Zack and Miri or something like that, as soon as he gets out of the View Askew universe movies, he's like, oh yeah, PA, we're gonna go talk about Pittsburgh. Like we're gonna go be in
Which
Pittsburgh
is-
for a while. Like what?
Which is really funny because I don't know Pittsburgh super well.
Yeah.
But I've got friends from like up that way, and they also like love the movie because they're just like, oh my god, this is it just feels like us.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what
And
it was
I
like
think
with Magic Mike because it was filmed in Clearwater. We're like, this is us.
I know that dick. I've seen
I know
that dick.
place.
You're like, oh my god, I've seen a lot of people OD in that alley.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
where we are. Like,
I totally relate with that.
But like he
Yeah.
created this own like fucking like prison for himself. He didn't have to be the New Jersey guy. He wanted to be the New
Yeah,
Jersey
he's
guy.
proud of it.
And that's why it plays out so well in the movies. Like the fact that like
yes.
he thinks
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, this should like how many people have said like it's like the town is a character. You know,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but it kind of is. Like, it's just a bunch of dummies that come.
Well,
out.
when he
Well,
started
look.
doing Mallrats too, that was going to be in PA. They were filming that in PA.
See, and that makes sense. But see, look, I have no judgment on anyone that makes a town a character reoccurring
Right.
in their themes because you know who did it best? Stephen King.
Stephen who?
King, right?
Stephen
Or is
King.
it Steven
Spielberg's.
Spielberg?
Were you gonna be able to say
No,
that? Like,
Stephen King.
what's
Stephen
going on?
King. Okay, where's
It's the
Stephen
same
King?
town in all of his books. Same main town, pretty much in every
I
book.
always get them mixed up. I have to be honest with you.
What?
Yes, I do. I know. I'm so sorry.
How are we getting on with 4 minutes left? We just found out that my wife of almost 12 years sometimes gets Stephen King and Steven Spielberg mixed up.
So
How?
Spielberg is the director, and then
Yep.
King is the author, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you get? That's crazy. Just my
very
name, right?
different
Like you
Just
don't.
my name. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Like I'm like, wait, which one is which? I know they're separate,
Okay.
but which one is
Like a
which?
Jeff Daniels, Jeff
Yes.
Daniels. What's the other guy? Oh no,
I don't
gotta
even
remember his
know.
name.
Wait,
I don't
what,
even
what,
know.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You get Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton mixed
Bill
up.
Paxton.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
god,
yeah,
and
that
I love
thing.
both
I
of
know that they're
them.
two separate things. Like one's a director and one's a
But
author.
you're like, I know he's a Steven, but he's a Steven.
which one?
Well,
I go, look
well,
at the nose, look at the
one,
nose, look at the nose.
one
look at the nose.
directed E.T. and Jaws,
Right.
Yep.
and the other one writes novels about the dark and depravity of man.
And me-
Yes. Okay. So Stephen King is Maine. Like it's always
Yes.
the Maine.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
Pretty much always, he made up an area called Derry, Maine,
Oh.
Uh-huh.
which is pretty much a reoccurring theme.
So Manny brings up a great point. Spielberg's a Jew. Or
I
Spielberg,
almost said that.
He
and
said Spielberg's the Jew.
Oh, the Jew.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't know. He's got that moniker.
And
he's
King is
he's
just a
number
maniac.
one. He's the best one. And then King is an anti-Semite.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Oh my god!
So don't get those two mixed up.
Nope.
Gee.
That's
It's
like
wait a
sacrilege.
minute. Hold on a second. Don't tell me. Is it Martin Luther King or is it? Hold on a second. Are you the Grand Dragon of the KKK? Right? Hold on a second. I get you guys mixed up all the time. David Duke. David Duke? No. Martin Luther King.
Jeez. Well, no. Here's a better example: Martin Luther King Jr. or Martin Luther, who was a white European.
I get those
There you
guys mixed
go.
up all the time.
I have to tell you guys one time, real funny story, kind of random. I one time was in high school and we were doing book reports or just like reports on famous historical figures. And a kid in my class did a terrible job and panicked at the last minute, so starts like writing his report in class. And he got up there and he says that Martin Luther King Jr. freed the slaves.
Oh.
We were all like, "What do you mean of the spiritual variety?" Or
Also, yeah, like posthumously, like over after the fact, he was like, by the way.
it was the most wild moment in my private school days.
That's pretty good.
Wow, that's crazy.
And you're like, oh, this is the
Yeah.
education we're paying for.
I was like, I can't believe that this kid has a higher grade point average than me. This is killing me right now.
I think about that sometimes in jiu-jitsu. I'm like, that guy's got a higher belt than me, huh? All right.
Same with comedy. I'll see someone that I
Oh, yeah, I'm
absolutely
sure.
can't stand, and they'll have like these ridiculous credits, and I'll look at them and I'll be
Yeah.
like, how do you get paid more than I do?
There you go. Yeah. You go, hey, there you
Yeah,
go.
it's a dick.
Look at that.
I'm like, this makes sense.
So
I'm a woman.
I like how you said that too. Like,
Comedian.
that can be your catchprise now. I'm a woman.
I'm a woman. Pay me less than a man. I'm only 75% as funny.
Hey-o. Well, if actually that's a perfect segue into why don't you tell them where you can be 75% as funny as men?
So you can follow me on social media at Ashley Pontius Laughs. So I have an Instagram you can follow. My website is almost finished, so we're building a website. So we're doing that.
Ooh, that's
You
fun.
can also follow my Facebook fan page and follow my podcast with my co-host Eric and Jeremy Woodworth. It is Quality Time on Spotify.
That's quality time. And what's that about again?
We take apart horror movies mostly, or 80s pop, anything kind of pop culture. Again,
Okay.
always movies, but we'll do like I'm sorry, I keep saying pulp movies. So we'll kind of do shitty kind of campy movies from the 80s as well. We just kind of take them apart with other comedians every week and just take giant shits on them.
Have
That's
you guys done
awesome.
Dead Alive yet?
It is our plan.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love.
Yeah, I have been fighting for that forever because we love it so much.
That's one of my favorites. That's for sure. I look forward to that.
Would you
one.
like to be on an episode?
I would love to be on that.
Do you want to
episode if
do the
that's
Dead
possible.
Alive? I will ask Eric. We'll see if we can get you on.
I'll wait as long as it takes. That is a movie I love. So it's only like bad horror movies essentially.
Well, I mean, we'll do good ones, but you tend to have more fun with the bad ones.
Right.
'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you tend
Yeah.
to enjoy kind of being like, this movie is terrible.
Yeah,
'Cause
after
we
it-
just did for Fansgiving Poultrygeist last week.
Oh, okay, that's way different than Poltergeist,
It-
right?
Yeah, way different. It's about a demon chicken that creates
Hey!
chicken
Spoilers!
people zombies.
Spoilers. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot. I've left a lot of mystery. Don't worry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. So check that out. Anybody on Instagram right now, obviously you're already following, so tell your friends. And thanks for joining in. If you want, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hambone's still hanging around in there. He's kicking around in there. Make sure you like the video. You hit the little bell that says
it right
you get the
now.
notifications.
Right
or
now.
or subscribe. If you're not,
For every one of you that doesn't, I'll kill a cat.
ooh, no, wait, save one. Just save one.
Yeah, just save one for
Just
us.
hold on to one for us. Or John, somebody get your cats fucking because we need a free cat.
We do.
So, Ashley, thanks again for being on, and guys, thanks so much for